Okay. Looking good. Alright, we are officially live on TikTok and on YouTube, so pick your poison, I suppose, where you want to hang out. Thank you guys for the follows. Welcome in, welcome in. Remember that if you can't stay for the whole 30-minute class, we do have replays. Hey, Beth! We do have replays over on YouTube. I Move with Change on YouTube, and there are plenty of replays over there of this class, as well as our other class that we have not been doing lately because I've been on hiatus trying to make content. We all see how that's going. So, filter in, find a place to put your butt, share the live with a friend who you think could use some time in their body, some mindfulness. And give me just a few minutes while I finish my flow. Oh, Beth, you messed up your neck. Guess what? I am not at 100% myself, so we're going to be going a little... I was going to say we're going to be going slow today, which we are. Yeah. Hey, Natalie! Going snow tubing. That is a good reason to mess up your neck, I tell you. Okay. We are gonna ground first before we get in, and we're actually gonna take a few extra minutes to do a sensory perception movement around our systems, just to get into our bodies. Remember, January is all about the aura, so all the tools, all the flows, all the things that we do is all about the strengthening, clearing, aligning the aura. So before we get started, we're going to move our awareness around our body, and then we're going to move it outside of our body. So we're going to spend a few moments doing that. We're going to move through our flow, and then we're going to sit with our mudra this week, which I still haven't told you guys because I haven't been able to make the content. I have not been snow tubing, but have been messed up in the head, neck. Anyway, so let me finish this, and then I'll read comments, I promise. What's today? It's not the 31st yet, right? It's not the 31st. No, it's just the 24th, right? Oh God, it's the 31st. It is the 31st. Is it the 31st? Shit. It's totally the 31st. What? What dimension are we in, you guys? Okay. Ooh, you've been tapping lately, Beth. Good. Wait, it's your friend's birthday, so we have to go big? No, I don't think I can do big today. But we are. Yeah, it's the 31st. Seraphim, is this real life? I don't know. And I did get this reflection recently. And if you're in here, I love you for this reflection because you're going to shift the way that I present myself here. I got a reflection recently that every time I turn on my camera or record a video or something, that you guys kind of get this idea that everything is hunky-dory and I'm all healed and better or something. I'm still getting some like reflections back. So I guess I'm not doing good enough about being authentic with you guys. Not that I'm going to start, you know, just sobbing on camera for everybody, but I think it's important to note that what we see through these fancy little black mirrors, right, is often a, what's the word I'm looking for? The pirates are picking manipulation and these other things. No. It's just such a small pinhole, right, into other people's lives. And I know that we all know this from this, like, when I think about it, I realize that, duh, that's not the entire person's entire experience. But we can kind of forget, and we may find ourselves feeling depressed, despondent, or even anxious, or shameful, or even guilty that we're not doing more, doing better, looking better, whatnot. Guys, I deal with pain every single day. You haven't been seeing a lot of my content in January because I've been down. I've been unable to make content. And I don't want to look all wincy on the content while I'm trying to show you guys a mudra. I'm trying to find the balance between showing up even when I'm not perfect and giving myself the time to rest so that I don't have to push myself when I'm not feeling well. So, I think the important part is to remember how easy it is for our minds to convince us that what we see is more of the reality than it really is. So give yourself grace. I know we easily oftentimes give other people grace. We easily go, oh, I know that they're going through more, or, oh, she looks beautiful today, or, oh, I really encourage you to take a moment and give yourself that love, give yourself that grace, look at yourself in that way through that pinhole and say, in this moment, you look perfect. Everything is exactly how it needs to be. You're just right. Who cares about the rest? Who cares about the mess? So, it's really easy, right, for us to see other people and be like, oh, their life is so much better than mine. They must be so much more healed. They must be so much more better. Yeah. We do. We do all have our own experiences. Self-love. Okay, so my friends, we will practice our mudra for this week. We finished our mudra last week, didn't we? I'm so behind on making content. I'm sorry, you guys. I really want to make the content, but the reality is that my biggest strength is in my speaking, right? Is in showing up and actually talking about the things. So I'm trying to look at my schedule again and figure out maybe how to come back to just doing more lives, and then trying to gather a team of people who are willing to help me cut that content. If I have people who are willing to help me cut that content, I can make all the content from these lives. So let me know if you are interested in trading coaching or other membership services and things like that to help with editing. You do need a computer to do so. It's a lot easier to do so. I do have the memberships paid for so that we can create teams and work on things like Canva and CapCut and these other things. So let me know if you have the time and energy and the desire to support me in doing that. I would really appreciate it. And for the rest of you, I love you guys so much just for fucking being here. You're the best. Message you. Okay, I will. Let me make a note. Beth, your name is on my board like 3 times over here. One for talking to my dad about your bakery. Which I did, and then now I forget what the other one was for. But now it's up there for edits. Okay. All right, my friends. Larch, namaste. All right, I'm not going to be able to see the comments when I am sitting back here, so I'm going to leave them small so that I don't get too distracted. Let's find the edge of our seat. We are after 10:10 already. That's usually when I start class. So go ahead and find the edge of your seat. Try not to go so far to the edge that you're going to slip off. You need to be stable. If you have a rickety chair like I do, make sure that you are nice and grounded and that you keep awareness in your chair as well. If you're on the edge of your bed, unless you have a fancy ass mattress, this edge slumps, so make sure you come in just a little bit. If you need to move to the edge, right, or move to a different chair, go ahead and do so now. If you're in the front seat of your car, it can help to swing your legs out so you have a little bit more room, and you'll kind of need it today because we're going to go into some slightly longer, wider poses. But we're going to take our time through this. I don't have a lot of poses for today's flow, so really the focus today is about gathering up all of our energy and using all of our energy with intention in every single movement we make. Remember, January, we're talking about the aura. Your aura is the energy surrounding your physical body. Our heart generates the toroidal field of energy that moves around our body. Sometimes you hear the word aura and you think woo-woo, that kind of thing, right? This is a measurable, scientifically proven toroidal field of energy that moves around the body. And it can be expansive, it can be contractive, I guess I don't say standard, a healthy, expansive aura typically can go out even just a little bit past your fingertips. This can be a pretty big field. And there are some theories that our energy body is even bigger than that, right? So this month, all the tools that I'm offering is really about aligning and clearing this energy field. We haven't gone through a lot of like energy healing techniques as far as like using hands and Reiki, and maybe we can do that a little bit today after class. But for now, we're going to use our Shukri Mudra at the end of our practice. The Shukri Mudra brings the fingertips all together with the thumb, and then you lay it like this in your lap. We're going to close our practice with this. This mudra brings all the elements in the body together for an overall balancing, strengthening, healing, aligning, whatever you need. Grab the Shukri and lay it right here. What I love about this one is you can hold it anywhere when you're doing anything, and it's actually kind of a common hand gesture. So it's one of those sneaky mudras where people might not realize you're actually aligning your energy body and taking care of your auric field. Don't you love that? Sneaky mudras. Thank you, friend. So we're going to close our practice with that today. But I invite you to go ahead, if you haven't already, find the edge of your seat. Bring your knees to shoulder width apart. Stack them over top of your ankles. Wiggle your toes around a little bit. Find the full grip bottom of your feet. Bring your awareness into your toes. Wiggle them and press them into the earth. Bring your awareness into the sides of your feet, so slightly rolling your feet open just to press into the outside blades of your feet. Roll to the heels, press and release. There's not a lot of, I'm not going into the ground with my heels, right? This is just about intention. We're learning to move our awareness. Your awareness, right, doesn't just live here. It's something that we can actually take with us. I often like to think about it like a fairy or like a butterfly. I can take my awareness and I can put it anywhere around my field. And when you get really into doing this, you can take your awareness and send it way, 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 way far out beyond your field. So if you're interested in doing that kind of stuff, astral projection, travel, or just remote viewing kind of things, we start here by learning how to move our awareness around our bodies and then around our own energy field. So before we even get into the movements of our flow today, we're going to do that to get fully into our bodies and into our energy body. When you're ready to join me, you found your posture, go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths to fully sink in for our practice. Begin by inhaling the breath through the nose, pulling it through the lungs and all the way into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And let it go. Inhale again, this time lifting the heart and lifting through the top of the head to elongate the spine, bringing intention to your posture. As you exhale, allow your shoulder blades to melt down your back, relieving tension in your back, in your arms. Give yourself a little wiggle if you need it. Gently tuck your chin in toward your neck, ever so slightly. Seal the lips and just return the breath to a comfortable, steady rhythm. Just rest your awareness on your breath for a moment, listening to the inhale and the exhale. And bring your awareness to the sensation of the breath entering and exiting your nose, the cool and warm sensation on your upper lip. Move your awareness to the center of your throat where you can feel the breath moving up and down inside of your throat. Feel into the sensation of the breath passing through your body. Drop your awareness into your chest, right where your heart is. Feel for your heartbeat. Feel for the expansion and contraction of the chest. Just notice the way it moves, resting your awareness here on your rib cage, inside of your rib cage, wherever you can rest your awareness here. As we move, continue to use not just your physical sensation, not just the physical sensation of the expansion and contraction, but see if you can look a little bit deeper for more than just the movement of your body. Can you feel the breath filling your lungs? The gentle breeze inside of your rib cage. On your next exhale, drop your awareness all the way down into your belly button. See if you can drop your awareness as deep as you can go in your belly button. Even if you have an outie or an innie, doesn't matter, just find the center of your belly button. Find the deepest point of your belly button. Give it all of your attention, all of your awareness, all of your focus. If your mind is busy and trying to pull you away to other things, just bring it back. Sometimes it's like herding cats, I know. Bring it back as many times as you need to focus on your belly button. If your mind is like, I don't know what you're talking about, just set the intention and just direct towards your belly button as best you can. It's not about perfection. It's not about having any particular kind of reaction or sensation. It's about your intention and your attention. All of your attention, all of your focus inside of your belly button. Move your awareness to the top of your right knee, and then to the top of your left knee. Move your awareness to the inside of your right ankle, inside of the left ankle. All of your awareness in your right pinky toe. Find the tip of your right pinky toe. All of your attention, all of your focus in the tip of your right pinky toe. And jump over to that left pinky toe. All of your attention, all of your awareness in the very tip of the left pinky toe. Drag that awareness up to the back of your left knee and the back of your right knee. Drag the awareness up into your right armpit. All of your attention, all of your focus in your right armpit. All of your attention, all of your focus in your left armpit. Did you feel that movement? That's the movement of your awareness in your left armpit. All of it in your left armpit. Gather it up. All of your attention, all of your focus in your left armpit. Bring all of your attention, all of your focus to the back of your head where your skull meets the top of your spine. Sink your awareness in just a little bit deeper to that nice little pine cone shaped bit there. This is the back of your third eye chakra at the pineal gland. Bring your awareness inside the skull just a little bit to the pineal gland. See if you can sense this magical little organ in there. And drag your awareness up over the back of your head, over the top of your head, right down to your third eye, the point between your brows, just above between your brows. All of your attention, all of your focus, all of your awareness. You can even turn your eyes, your eyeballs, keeping them closed, as if you were looking into or through the third eye. All of your attention, all of your focus, looking through that third eye point on your forehead. All of your attention, focused awareness. Take a deep breath in. And then push your awareness out just a little bit beyond. Imagine maybe just a few finger lengths, as far as you can bring it. Imagine your awareness as something that is coming outside, out of your head, out of the third eye, and hanging out in front of you. Rest your awareness just out in front of your third eye. What can you perceive here in this space? Just notice what it feels like to be here in this space with your awareness dangling out in front of your third eye. Now imagine your awareness drops to in front of your nose, dangling out in front of your nose. You're not watching your awareness from inside your head. You're moving, you're sitting you're in your awareness outside of your head. What does it feel like to be in front of your nose? Right in front of your nose. Not inside, but out in front. It's okay if you don't perceive anything different right now. This is just about your intention and your attention. Drop that awareness down now in front of the heart. Not perceiving your awareness outside of your body, but being outside of your body, in front of your heart, a point of awareness. Begin slowly taking a deep inhale, and as you do, pull your awareness into your heart slowly. See if you can do so slowly. Traveling back into the heart. And as you exhale, allow your awareness to sink into the heart space, filling the heart space, opening up, spreading across the chest, over the shoulders, down the back, through the body, filling the legs, filling the arms to the top of your head, your awareness filling your entire being. Hello, me. Welcome to class. You can go ahead and keep your eyes closed as long as you'd like to. Whenever you feel comfortable, go ahead and open them up. We're just going to begin by dropping the knees to one side and then the other, slowly waking up the muscles in our body. Wiping the knees back and forth, back and forth. Hello hips, hello knees. Just notice as we move through each of these movements, each of these poses, all the sensation that you can experience, both inside of your body and outside of your body. Bring all of your attention, all of your awareness to this little movement, wiping our knees back and forth, back and forth. Bring your knees back to center. Extend your hands out in front of you. Open the palms, fingers nice and wide. Press the palms forward. and lift the heels up. Pointing your toes, lift the heels up. Inhale. Exhale, drop the palms, keeping the fingers spread out nice and wide. Drop the palms in, drop the heels, and lift the toes. Pull the toes up towards the ceiling, keeping the heel on the ground. Exhale. Inhale, heels up, palms out. Exhale, heels down, toes up, palms in. Inhale, heels up, palms out. Exhale, palms in, toes up. 2 more times. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, toes up. Inhale, palms out. Exhale, palms in. Go ahead and release. Bring your hands back down to your thighs. Check with your knees again that they are shoulder width apart. Stacked over your ankles, feet nice and wiggled, grounded into the earth. And we're going to move into cat-cows. Go ahead and inhale, lifting your chin, sending your chest forward, and tucking your tailbone as if you're going to give your tail a little waggle. Go ahead and waggle your tail. Inhale. And then exhale, tuck the chin, curl the spine, pushing it back towards the back of your chair and tucking the tailbone underneath. Inhale forward, gazing up. Exhale back, gazing towards your belly button. Couple more. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more. Get your whole spine moving from your tailbone to the top of your head. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Come back to neutral, interlace your fingers behind your back, and send your fist back, pulling toward, bringing your shoulder blades together. Gaze up and open the chest for a little camel here. Big deep breath. And as you exhale, keep the hands like this or release at any point that feels appropriate for you. And go ahead and exhale all the way down into a forward fold. Once you're down in your forward fold, you can release the arms, let them hang beside your legs, resting your chest on your thighs, or if you'd like a little bit of a deeper fold, you can open your knees and drop in between. Several deep breaths here, again, bringing your awareness into your body and outside of your body. Just notice here with a few deep breaths the quality of your energy. Breathing into any areas of tension. Inhaling the breath right to those points that are sore or aching. Let your head hang. On your next inhale, go ahead and slowly roll up, really bringing your awareness into the spine, seeing if you can notice that stacking of the vertebrae one at a time as you roll all the way back up to neutral. Roll the shoulders back, lead with the heart, gently tuck the chin to bring intention to your posture. Notice your knees, bring them back to shoulder width apart if you need to. Bring the palms together at the heart and send them up directly overhead. Gaze at your palms. Bring your head down, gaze forward, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, turn the torso to one side. Your pick today, which side we're going to twist to first. And once you find the full extension of your torso, open the arms, dropping the front hand to the outside of the knee and the back arm behind you on the chair or the bed. Lengthen the spine, lifting through the top of the head, really keeping the intention in your posture here. And as you exhale again, gaze over that back shoulder. Take several breaths here, noticing your posture, noticing the way your body moves with the breath. Allowing any bits of tension to slowly unravel themselves as we breathe. Big deep breaths here in this stretch. One more deep breath in. Slowly exhale as you come out of the twist without slingshotting yourself forward. Once you're back to center, bring the hands together at the heart, send them up overhead. Gazing at your hands for just a moment, then bringing your chin parallel to the ground. Inhale. And as you exhale, turn the torso to the other side. Find the extension of your twist and go ahead and open the arms. One hand on the outside of your knee, the other one behind you. Lengthen through the spine. Check your posture. Inhale and exhale, twisting the rest of the way, gazing back over your shoulder. Several deep breaths here. Noticing the way any tension in your body slowly unravels itself just with your breath. Go ahead and take a big deep breath in. And slowly release as you exhale. Come back to neutral. Reach your left hand across to your right thigh, or go ahead and hold onto the side of your chair. Sweep your right arm down and out to the right side, up overhead. Lengthen through the spine before we fold into our side stretch. Lengthen through the top of the head. Lengthen through the fingers. Drop the shoulders so that you're not closing up your ear here. Keep it nice and low. Plenty of space between your neck and ear and arm. Inhale. Exhale, tip down toward the left, reaching overhead, and turn your head to gaze past your armpit. Try not to offend yourself as you continue to breathe in this nice side stretch. Open side of the right body. Inhale up. Exhale, release the right arm. Switch. Right arm to left thigh. Send that left arm down and out to the side, all the way up. Fingertips reaching towards the sky. Drop that shoulder. Lengthen through the top of the head. Nice long spine. Intention in your posture. Inhale. Exhale, drop towards the right, opening the left side body and gaze past your armpit. Breathe. Inhale back up to neutral. Exhale, release the arm. Interlace your fingers underneath your right thigh. Bring your right thigh up. Squeeze it into the chest. Give it a kiss. Whisper sweet nothings. Thank it for all that it does. Then go ahead and grab your knee, and we're going to do a couple of hip circles. Whatever direction feels good to you in this moment, go ahead and start with little knee circles, right, into our hip. Circles in the hip joint. There we go. One direction, and then the other. Then go ahead and place your right knee out to the right side. So you've got your left knee still facing forward. Now your right knee is out to the side. So these should be at a 90-degree angle from each other. Go ahead and lengthen the front knee, your left knee. Plant your foot on the ground. Slide your left hand all the way down your thigh for gate pose. We're going to reach down to our foot and then swing our right hand overhead for a deeper side stretch. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch all the way down into the hips. Breathe. Inhale. Slowly come back out. You can lead with that right arm, opening the right arm to help you bring your torso up. Take that left leg, slide it back on the ball of the foot, bring it to the chair, and then slide it back for high lunge. You can stay on your chair. High lunge, you want to keep your back foot on the ball, heel up, plant this right foot here in the front, knee stacked over the ankle. You can sweep your arms up to either side, keeping your hands apart. You can stay on your chair, or you can lift off if it feels appropriate. Breathe. Inhale again. And as you exhale, drop that back heel. Turn the torso to the side, to the front of your chair here, and open your hands for warrior two. Breathe. Nice strong warrior pose here. If you don't want to be out of your chair, you can still be resting your butt on your chair. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and release the arms. Release your butt back down to your chair. Bring your knees together in the front and drop them side to side. Wipe the knees. Wipe knees. Wipe knees. We're going to go for the other side. So again, find the edge of your seat. Knees shoulder width apart. Knees stacked over the ankles. Interlace your fingers underneath your left thigh. Squeeze it up to the chest. Inhale and exhale. Kiss the knee. Offer it sweet nothings. Thank you so much for all that you do. And go ahead and grab a hold of that knee and move to little hip circles one direction. I guess they're not really little hip circles, right? Rotate that hip, left side, one direction, and then the other. Then go ahead and place that left knee at a 90-degree angle. Plant the foot there in front of you. So again, stacking the knee over the ankle. And then lengthen that right leg that's still out in front of you. Right hand slides down the length of the leg. And then sweep that left arm up overhead. Reaching down towards your toes while gazing up past your armpit. Breathe here. Inhale, come up, lead with that left arm to help the torso come upright. Then take that right foot, again, slide it back on the ball of the foot for high lunge. Go ahead and ground that back foot. Sweep both hands up overhead, hands apart, reaching towards the sky. Keep that space, shoulders down. You don't want to close up your ears here. Keep plenty of space, and you can either lift off your chair or just rest here into the high lunge pose. Breathe. Big deep breath in. As you exhale, drop that back heel, turning the foot, opening the chest, dropping the arms open for warrior two. Your chest should be facing towards the front, excuse me, facing towards the side for warrior two. Breathe. One more deep breath in. And exhale, gently release. Bring your knees back together at the front of the mat. Wipe the knees back and forth. Come back to neutral. Ground the feet. Stack the knees over the ankles. Thighs shoulder width apart. We're going to move up into our shoulders. Give our shoulders a little bit of love before we close out. Go ahead and roll the shoulders up in one direction and then the other. Take your time here. Keep lifting through the top of the head to keep a nice long spine, rotating the shoulders in one direction and then the other. Go ahead and switch. Bring the shoulders back to neutral. Inhale the breath, lengthen through the top of the head. And exhale, just turning to gaze over your left shoulder. Exhaling completely here. Inhale back through center. And exhale, gazing over the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale, gaze to the left. Again, bringing your awareness into any part of this experience that calls your attention. Inhale back through center. And exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center. And as you exhale this time, just tip the head to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed, lifting through the heart still, and just opening the left side of the neck. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. This doesn't have to be a deep movement, doesn't have to be a big movement. It's just about our awareness and being present with whatever we experience, both inside of our bodies and around our bodies. Inhale back up to neutral. As you exhale, drop the chin towards the chest and slowly roll the head in one direction. The intention here is not to readjust your neck or to give yourself any sort of chiropractic sort of adjustments. We're just going to notice where we're at. If snap, crackles, and pops happen, it's what it is. But that's not our focus. The focus is just the nice smooth rotation in one direction. And when your chin meets your chest again, switch directions. Present in our body, mindful of our energy. Patient with our movements. And next time your chin meets your chest, inhale back up to neutral. We're going to finish our practice with our Shukri Mudra. We're going to sit for 5 minutes with the mudra. The Shukri Mudra is nice and easy to do. Hey Ashley, hey Brian, hey guys. We gather all of our fingertips together to touch the thumb. And then we place this either just points up in the lap. If you feel called to hold it somewhere else, feel free to hold it somewhere else. If you want to dangle it by your sides, feel free to do so. This is the traditional way that we use a mudra if it doesn't have any specific place to be. This is one that you don't have to have it on your thighs, but it's a nice, easy place to rest it. So just bring awareness to your posture. If you'd like to sink a little bit deeper into your chair so you can sit a little longer, that's fine. The one thing I ask is that you're not slouching. So let's not sit like this because we're working with the energy body. Thank you, friend. Hey, Byron, how are you? We're working with the energy body and the energy channels. So just like a hose, right? If you were to kink the hose or bend it, it's going to make the flow much more difficult. It's going to limit the flow. So instead, we want to check in with our posture. Nice long spine, which means just imagine that string at the top of your head, pulling or dangling you from the heavens, right? There is a special star out there in the universe that you are tethered to. And that star animates you, keeps you aligned and upright, keeps you dangled between the earth and the cosmos. Connect to that awareness of that line, that string, that tether that's lifting out at the top of your head. Allow it to lift you just a little bit higher, lengthening the spine, creating a little separation, a little space in your body. If you haven't already, gather all your fingers together with the tip of your thumb And keep it here on your thighs or wherever else feels appropriate. Lengthening with that tether up into the cosmos. Then send your awareness down to your tailbone. And imagine from your tailbone or from the bottom of your seat, roots are growing down into the earth. This is your tether into the earth, the things that support you and lift you up. It is a funny thing, these bipedal humans, right? We are an odd creature because it's not the best mode of ambulation. It's not the best way to get around on our 2 feet with our bodies stacked on top. So we use these energies, the strength of the earth, to lift us up, and the light, I guess, the lightness of the cosmos. I don't know what word I'm looking for here. Let it create space. Just rest your awareness. Find an anchor. You can rest your awareness on your breath, listening to the sound of your breath. You can rest your awareness on your heartbeat, listening to the sound of your heartbeat, feeling for your heartbeat. You can rest your awareness on the point where all of your fingertips touch and notice any vibration you feel here. Notice any sensation you feel here. Wherever feels most appropriate for you. I encourage you, if you are somewhat sensitive, to rest your awareness on the mudra and feel for the sensations not only inside of the mudra, inside of your hands, but feel for what you can experience that's moving around the mudra, between the mudras, above and below the mudra. We're going to sit for 5 minutes this way. I'm going to grab my timer. Just stay with your anchor. Anytime your mind wanders off, anytime something outside of you grabs your attention is an untrained puppy, right? And many things may grab our attention when we're not used to cultivating our attention. Right now, you are a patient and willing and at least curious cat herder, puppy herder. So bring that attention back to your anchor, whether it be your mudra, your breath, the tip of your nose, or anywhere else that holds your attention. And just breathe. Nothing more, nothing less. Mindfulness can be that simple. Bring your awareness back to your anchor every time it wanders off, as many times as it takes. If your mind or body or environment are particularly busy today, I invite you to offer a gentle smile. If your body is feeling tense or your mind is feeling worried, I invite you to offer a gentle smile. Gratitude for the opportunity to notice the tension and let it go. as many times as you need to. Return your attention gently to your anchor. Stay with it. You're doing amazing. Just a few more moments. Anytime you notice tension in the body, in the breath, in the mind, take a deep breath in, honor it, acknowledge it, hello, I see you, and exhale to let it go, returning your attention to your anchor. Go ahead and take a big, deep breath in. And if you are ready, go ahead and exhale, releasing the mudra, bringing your hands together at your heart into prayer, or simply laying one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice, in gratitude for the mudra, in gratitude for the prana, in gratitude for the opportunity to meet ourselves where we're at. Offer yourself gratitude as well for taking the time for self-care today, and thank you for joining me for yet another tiny yoga session in our CAYA space. When you're ready to come out of your practice, I invite you to rub your palms together and cup them over your eyes. They've been closed for a little while, so fluttering them open behind behind your hands can help with the transition. I'm going to go warm up my coffee while you guys come out of practice. Watch that in a minute? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Puzzle pieces. You are very welcome. Moonberry, you're very welcome. As you guys know, for those of you who are new here, hold on a minute, let's start there. For those of you who are new here, hello, my name is Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister, a movement facilitator, and your shenanigan shaman. Thank you, TikTok community, for that title. And in this space, we call it our CAYA space. C-A-Y-A stands for Come As You Are, because authenticity is the purest expression of you. Authenticity is your purpose. It's what you're here to be, to do. And there aren't a lot of spaces where we can truly show up just as we are and give ourselves permission to really be wherever we're at today. So in these classes, I do go live every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we do about a 30-minute flow. Sometimes I go a little over, sometimes I chat a little extra in the beginning. I show up as I am. And some days that's on a chattier level than others. So you're welcome to come join us every Friday at 10 a.m. Remember, there are replays over on YouTube as well. I'm trying to situate this situation here so that I'm not looking repeatedly at all these cameras. There we go. That's a little better. It's a little better. Tracy, do I do this at specific times? Yes, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I do have a schedule pinned at the top of my content on TikTok and on YouTube. Right now, those are the main places that I exist and are the most important places to follow me. Thanks, Moonbear. I'm just checking up on some comments here. Red Mommy Yeti, grand day to you as well, my friend. Tracy, I have freaking stories, same name at powwow, really? Nice. Oh, wow, interesting. Moonbear, there isn't a follow button next to my name. How can I follow you? I assume you would already be following me if there isn't a follow button next to my name. But I know that TikTok does funny things. So you can send me a message. But if you go to my profile and you see there's not a follow button, it means you're already following me. So you can also send me a message if you have any questions. And please note, everyone, I do have a Patreon, and the Patreon you can join as a free member. It's a good way to stay up to date about all the things that I'm doing. When I change something, I usually post it there. I don't post a lot of content to it because it has limitations for that. And I don't spend a lot of time there, but it is a place where we have memberships. I have a shop there if you want to support the work that I do. I do these classes for free. The only thing I charge for is my time. So if you want coaching, I do offer coaching. And that includes anything from, just chatting about things to using the tools that I have with the certifications and experience I have. We can do private yoga classes. We can do nutrition counseling and herbal stuff and a variety of other things. So Patreon has all my certifications if you're curious what those things are. Yes, Jesse. So the class is every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Yep. Oh, wow. Interesting. So Devora, my name is a, hey, Don. That's okay. The replay will be right here on YouTube. I don't even know if like right now during the live, if you can rewind it. I wonder. I'm curious. Deborah is the biblical version of it, right? Of Deborah. There's a really interesting story to it. She was the only female judge in the Bible. I was raised Catholic, and as I mentioned, I'm a non-denominational reverend. This story actually for me was really important growing up, because I always felt like I wanted to do something for the world. Yes, you can. Nice. I always wanted to show up in a way, right? To take care of the world, and somehow I thought I wanted to be a nun at first when I was Catholic, and then realized that wasn't for me. Hey, Juliana, good morning. But the story, I was supposed to be named something different entirely. And then my mother said when I was born, she looked at me and she was like, I had the name in my head, and I had to name you this. So it's the fifth book of Judges, and the story of Deborah is that she is essentially, she sits beneath a laurel, a bay laurel, and she offers counsel, she offers guidance, she offers advice, she offers mediation, she offers, yeah, pretty much whatever folks are needing, but they come to her to ask for it. And even as a little girl, I was like, how do I do that? Right? I thought it was being a nun. I was like, if I'm a nun, then I'm in the church, and they can come to the church, and and then I can offer what they, whatever support they need. In high school, I became the Ask Debbie. I had an Ask Debbie column in our school newspaper and an anonymous box that you could drop things in, and essentially all of my life I've been looking for a way to be able to share the knowledge and experience that I've gained through my life, through my trials and errors, through through being a master of change. If I'm a master of anything, I'm a master of change. The more I have learned, the more I realize I do not fucking know about this world, and it's humbled me. But I've also gained a lot of tools along the way. And I'm here to share those. And I really, really appreciate this opportunity, the follows, the shares, the interactions, the support. You know, without you guys, there'd be nobody to answer, right? There'd be no questions. There'd be no tools to, I mean, there'd be tools to offer, but I wouldn't, yeah. So I love you guys. That's all. I just want to say I appreciate you. Jesse, class has helped you today. Your balance was really off. Yay! Awesome. So again, these are 30-minute classes that each month of the year, I am theming this year. Last year I did not theme so much. This year we're going to try to theme each month. Like I said, I'm a little slow on making the content because I'm trying to sort out where is most conducive to me getting the information out. And that's usually lives. So January, we were talking about the aura. We were talking about all the layers of the aura, from your the closer in fields of our emotional body, right, to the further out fields of our ethereal self. When we talked about our energy patterns and the way our energy patterns can contract or expand our aura, right? And we may say, oh, I have no perception of my aura, right? I don't know how to feel my aura. I have no idea what you're talking about. But let me ask you, have you experienced the contraction of anger or fear and the expansion of joy and love or peace, right? If you have felt those sensations in your body, then you have felt your aura, your energy body moving. You have felt it expanding and you have felt it contracting. And the thing is your energy body has a breath, and it's about 45 minutes that it shifts. It breathes around you about every 45 minutes. And typically those 45-minute shifts are moving from solar energy to lunar energy. So when we learn, the reason I'm doing this year is so we can learn intimately all the details about our energy body, because I believe that when we understand how this system works and how easy it is to affect this system, to align this system, to heal this system, and how our energy goes through every other part of ourselves. You know, if we are taught that we have to go outside of ourselves for our healing, we're taught that we have to pay for it, we have to buy things for it, we have to look the right way, talk the right way, act the right way, ask the right person, have the right status or class or money to get it. I'm here to tell you that your energy body is the easiest way to bring you back to wellness. In fact, your entire system is actually supporting your journey toward wellness. If we learn to listen to our systems will lead us to our healing. If you're feeling confused and don't know what direction to go and don't know how to address these emotional things or these physical things, or no matter what you do from the outside, it seems like the same thing keeps coming up, hang out in these classes. I say these classes because I'll probably be adding more classes. So January is all about the energy body. And in just a minute, I'm actually going to give you guys a tool that I use and my mother taught me when I was first learning energy work as a child, and the one that I use to teach other people about energy awareness. My coffee, hold on. pass the disc about the rest. Okay, so January. Tracy, I love you too. Oh, I was gonna say, guys, if you like this content and you want to stay up to date on classes, on events, or anything that I offer, or changes in anything, or where the content is, and all of that stuff, come join us in our Discord. The free link is on my Patreon page. I'm patreon.com/move with change. If I am on the platform, I am Move with Change. If you don't find a Move with Change, then I'm not there. And there are places I'm not. But I am on Patreon, Move with Change. I am on YouTube, Move with Change. And I am on YouTube, TikTok. That's it. That's you. You talk. There's a free link to join the Discord over on patreon.com/move with change. Join us over there for more regular shenanigans and reminders and fun things like that, and conversations and watch parties. We have a watch party tonight. We've been watching the Ancient Civilization series on Gaia and having discussions about it. I run it 2 or 3 times over so that everybody can see it depending on what time you come in and out. So if you'd like to join us, you got to get into the Discord for that. I only do it in the Discord. So, energy. January, we're talking about the aura. February, we get to go inside of the system and talk about our energy channels, the koshas, the nadis, the sushuma, all the channels and the things that happen inside of our system and the elements inside of our systems. And then in March, we're going to start with the earth chakras, the lower chakras, the foot and knee chakras. April, we're going to move into the root chakra. The entire month of April is going to be all tools for the root chakra. I am trying to get up to my own expectation for how many tools I'm offering you. But right now I am relatively consistently offering a mudra, an asana, an herb and stone pairing, a nutrition tip, and the chair practices, because I have not been up on the other things that I wanted to do. But if you have space and want to trade coaching or other services to help edit and create content, please send me a message. Hi, Cappy. How are you? So then we're going to move all the way down. Oh, hello, Dawn. Hi. Sorry, guys. I just saw you. Solution Seeker here, too. Yay! You tried the link for Discord. It wasn't working. Okay, so go to on the Patreon page, Dawn? I'll have to check it. If it's not working on the Patreon page, I'll have to check it. I know that the link tree is hit or miss. What time is the watch party tonight? I start at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So 4, 5, 6, 7 Eastern time would be the earliest one that we do. And then I'll do it a couple times over. Orange Vigilante. How are you? Tracy, I enjoy the chair practices too. You know, this class was born out of my own limited mobility. I can wake up some mornings nearly unable to move. My hips fall. I have labels. I have Ehlers-Danlos, I have neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome, and I have slipped. Every single disc is slipped all the way up my neck, and C7 has a vertebra. C7 has a fracture, not a vertebra. It is a vertebra. It has a fracture. It has a fracture. So sleeping itself is a risky business. And I may wake up some mornings right as rain, and I may wake up some mornings right as grandma, right? And I didn't always have the capacity or the interest in a full yoga practice, right, every morning. And despite that, I would push myself to try to do it, or I'd end up with an argument with myself about not doing it. So I started literally just sitting on the edge of my bed and moving. And it's funny because at first the self-talk was saying stuff like, this isn't even yoga. This is so silly. What are you doing? This isn't. And yet my own self-talk was ignoring the fact that there's a chair yoga training right? There is a specific style of yoga called chair yoga that is exactly what it's for, that you don't have to have a full practice. I have, with Ehlers-Danlos, am super, super bendy. So yoga for me was always a like, well, I can get in that pose. I can get in that pose. No problem. I can be all bendy and stretchy. But I wasn't really focused on what my body needed. I wasn't focused on protecting my joints. I was focused on trying to be as impressive as I possibly could in yoga class. And that has nothing to do with my wellness and everything to do with my ego. So this little tiny yoga class came out of that, out of giving myself permission to do what feels right in the moment and what my body needs in the moment. And yeah. So I'm elastic. Yeah, kind of. Elastigirl. I saw Tracy. He said your video totally made me get up and do it. When I scrolled back in the comments, you're like, okay, I'm getting my headphones in a chair. Fine. I love that. Ashley, do I have the watch parties on YouTube or Discord? I have the watch parties on Discord only because I want to, one, create more Discord only events in there, right? So there's a reason to stay in the community. And two, I don't want to hit copyright anything anywhere else. I do have a membership to Gaia, and as a member I'm allowed to share them to my community to a degree, and that's the only reason I don't record them either. I thought about trying to record them and putting them in a private playlist, but I didn't want to run the risk of copyright stuff. So that's why I repeat them a couple of times over. And if you have a membership to Gaia, you can watch them on your own. And I think some of them are even on YouTube. But we're watching the Ancient Civilizations series. There we go. Words be wording. So, my friends, as we move through this year, we're going to move through all the layers. But actually, we're not moving this way. We're moving this way through all the layers. And if you stick with me, you'll never go hungry again. Sorry. If you stick it out through the year, in December, I have a really awesome surprise. And I am not good at keeping surprises. I get too excited and I want to just spill the beans. So I'm trying my best not to give it away. If I give it away, I'm going to do something brazen, like put all memberships to like $5 for the month or something like that. Like I'll do something. I promise I'll do something if I give it away. So feel free to poke me if you'd like to. But in December, we're going to, because by November, we will already be through the star chakras, the stellar chakras, and the ones above the body. So in December, I have something really special for you guys. Remember that all year long, I am offering tools for every layer of the energy body. Why am I offering tools for every layer of the energy body? Why am I offering a whole bunch of tools for it? Why can't I just offer like one mudra for the chakras, for each chakra? Because you are a unique instrument of source. You are as unique, your energy is as unique as your fingerprint, as the shape of your iris. You are a unique note that we need in the chorus, in the song that is, to play the song that is our collective voice, that is humanity. So the tools that work for me are not always going to work for you. And what feels good to me in the morning may not feel good to you in the morning, but may feel fantastic in the evening. So as I offer these tools, I invite you to keep record of these tools. Create a journal. If you want a pre-created one, I have one at the shop on patreon.com/movewithchange. It's just $5. And it's 4 PDFs, and you can print as many of them as you want to, right? I thought about making a big, fancy, expensive journal, but I'm not about charging you guys top dollar. I'd rather it be accessible so you guys can grab the stuff you need. And this is 4 PDFs that allow you to record your experience during practice, record information about the tool, when you used it, how much water you had beforehand and afterwards, and what your mood was like before and after. I even have a visual of the body and of the chakras, so you can color in what you perceive to be your aura or your chakras and things like that. So it's a really cool little PDF packet. So that'll help you keep track of these tools. Why is it important to keep track of these tools? Because at the end of the year, if you do, at the end of the year, you are going to have your own personal prescription for aligning, healing, strengthening your energy, managing your emotional patterns, managing the rise and fall of your energy, learning about your own cycles of your energy body, the breath of your energy body. Remember how I said earlier, your energy breathes. Thank you for the follow, Jen. You have a hard time too, Dawn. Your energy breathes, right? And so I say this, your energy breathes and shifts between solar and lunar energy during the day, about 45 minutes or so. We are unique, so there's a range there. But when you get used to knowing this, when you learn about this, you'll realize that, let's say, typically when I wake up at around this time, I am waking up with a solar energy. That's why I feel energized at 7 a.m. But if I do so at 8 a.m. or 8:30 or 7:45 or whatever, then I'm not so great. Some of these little subtle things that we don't even pay attention to because we have no reason to. We have no awareness of it. We have no knowledge of it, right? So we're like, well, my body is just this way. I don't know why. I think the most radical thing we can do right now in the world is to learn how to provide the things that we need for ourselves. That we model these things for each other as well. And we learn that self-care, right, is our first source of nourishment, our first source of love, of trust, of safety, of comfort, of peace, of joy, of all the things. They are all seated within ourselves first. And as trite as it sounds, it's unfortunately true. If we are not able to love ourselves unconditionally, then we will consistently love other people conditionally, and we will receive only conditional love because of our capacity to perceive it. Red Mama Yeti, you're a morning owl that dislikes mornings. I am not a huge morning fan either. I'm a very late night fan. I find, though, that at a certain point, right, I will have a lull where I could go to sleep and that I shift into my lunar energy. But if I stay past that, you get that second wind. Look, we have language to talk about it. We already have things that we say to talk about the way that our energy shifts and moves. And I love pointing it out because people will also turn to you and say, oh, energy is a bunch of woo-woo nonsense. Chakras are made up and what have you. But we have record of energy work and energy medicine and the energy body dating back to 1500 BC. That's longer than almost any of these other things that we have that we call medicine, right? And they have their purpose and place. I'm not going to knock them all. But one of the most foundational pieces of your wellness is inaccessible to most of us because we just don't know. Or worse, we have been taught to look directly away from our healing and from our energy and from our emotions. We're taught to ignore the impulses of our body from a very, very young age through the way that our culture teaches us and raises us. If we're lucky, you get a mama like mine, and she said, no, listen to those things. Pay attention to those things. It's important. Thank you, Mama. Tranquil, been on a journey of self-love for 4 years now. Me too. Actually, I think it was 2021, 2022, that I nearly lost my life due to lack of self-love. Due to lack of boundaries, due to not understanding my energy patterns, even though I had these tools, even though I'd been studying these things for years and years, but I wasn't applying them because I didn't see the value in applying them to myself. I thought my purpose was only to teach them to others. Orange Vigilante, tag me or send me your meditation video. I like your meditations. Badass pine woman, I'm a cuckoo bird. With every little sight, my circadian rhythm is all over the place. I love mornings and nights. See, I'd be interested to see what you chart when you start to learn about the rhythms of your energy body, right? So I mentioned a few minutes ago that I would share something with you guys. And sometimes I get wandering off on my chatting, but I remembered this time, so I came back around to it. This is the tool Moon Bear, you just spoke to my soul. I'm trying to figure out how to take care of me for the first time. Let me offer, before we do this practice, let me offer what I always say in regard to self-care. Thank you for the follow. Today is all you have. The way the brain stores memory is all the same, whether it's a TV show, a dream, or an actual lived experience, or somebody else's experience. It's all stored really similarly in the brain. So the past is just a memory. And the future is yet to be determined. It's not even guaranteed. We can't really perceive what's going to happen. So the truth of that today, now, is all we have. What happens when we skip our self-care? Today and today and today and today. What message are we sending to ourselves? Except, you're not important enough to have my attention and my care every day. And maybe we have an awesome practice of going to the gym 3 times a week, which is fantastic. But then I'm compartmentalizing my care and I'm saying to myself, yeah, you're only really worth my time 3 times a week for an hour at a time. And I know your response is, I don't have every day. You feel that energy come up in you? I don't have time every fucking day to go work out and eat right and do all this stuff. I'm busy. People need my attention. I've got to work. I know. And I'm not going to tell you to start every day with 3 fucking hours of sadhana or practice or whatever the heck it is. It's unreasonable. We don't jump to that level 12 when we start playing the game without cheat codes. You know what the cheat code to getting to level 12 of self-care is? Starting on level 1. Level 1 can be as small as 5 minutes every day. That's it. If you wake up to an alarm, set yourself a 5-minute snooze. You're like, what can I do in 5 minutes? I'm not going to do yoga. I'm not going to do whatever in 5 minutes. First thing in the morning, when that alarm goes off, hit that snooze button. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Place your hand on your belly. And just listen to your breath for 5 minutes. Here's the key piece. As you're listening to your breath, when the thought comes up of, ugh, I don't want to do this, or, oh my God, this is so stupid, or seriously, you need to get out of bed, why the fuck are you laying here, right? Any of that comes up. Same with any of the tension. If you notice as you're breathing that your heart gets tight, or your shoulders get tight, or your butt cheeks clench, whatever it is that you notice, if your breath catches and it's not smooth, whatever moment of tension in breath, body, or being, anytime it comes up, I invite you to inhale its presence, honoring it, acknowledging it, and exhale to give it permission to go. There is no more you need to do. Your emotions, even just any kind of tension, is like a belch. It's like an emotional fart, okay? It's gas in your body. It needs to just be released. And when we quiet our busy mind, we notice those gas bubbles coming up. And we go, oh, I don't want to be in my body because there's all this tension. And so we go back to focusing outside of ourselves and ignoring what's happening inside. When we do that, we exacerbate the problem when we push those bubbles back down. What would happen if you had an upset gut and you did not allow yourself to fart? If we did not have the capacity to belch, to release air from our stomach and from our digestive systems, it would hurt our bodies. It is not intended to stay in our system. Neither are your emotions. Neither is tension. Neither is fear. Neither are thoughts. These are all temporal things in a finite universe. All this stuff in the entire universe all matches the same. Rise and fall, ebb and flow, in and out, up and down, growth and death. Why do we then believe that our emotions are something we are stuck with and stuck in? And when it rises up in us, we say, no, 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 no. I don't want anybody to smell that emotion. I don't want anybody to know that it stinks like that. So for 5 minutes, You can go about your day however the fuck you want for the rest of your day. I'm not going to tell you how to be, who to be, what to do. You are exactly as you need to be, exactly where you need to be. But I encourage you to take those 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, stay with the breath and everything else that comes up. Breathe it in, say hello, good morning, thank you for letting me know you're here, and exhale. You're welcome to leave anytime. No stories, no fear, no attachment, no guilt, no shame. And if those come up, which they will, breathe them again too. As many times as you have to. Think about the dog that's been hurt and then gets rehomed. That dog is going to be skittish and scared and jumpy for some time until you rebuild trust with them. And if you have been ignoring yourself, your self-care, your body, your emotions, whatever it is, which we almost all of us are ignoring something, it needs you to take the time to build trust. No one else can build that trust with those deeper parts of you. The foundation of a quality relationship is trust. You deserve that. Okay. So, start with 5 minutes a day. And spend those 5 minutes just breathing, just witnessing whatever you're experiencing. Okay? And don't shame yourself for not doing more. Don't let your brain do that. And hey, if some mornings you can only do 3 minutes, let yourself do 3 minutes. But remember that your commitment to showing up to yourself every day for these 5 minutes is not about anybody else. It's not about anything else. It's about you. And if some part of you tears up at that idea, or you feel your heart clench or your stomach clench, that's your system. That's a confirmation that your system needs your attention. My body is my ally. My emotions are my ally. My energy is always leading me through the path of least resistance to my highest good. I'm going to say that again. My energy is always leading me through the path of least resistance to my highest good. Everything in the universe moves with the Fibonacci sequence. Open and up and out. We are expanding, we are growing, we are evolving. Whether you like it or not, you're on that wave. And we can resist. We can dig in our heels and refuse the flow. Or we can learn to align our energy for what's truly for us and be truly in that flow. And when we do that, tension falls away. Badass Blind Woman says, just the fact that I acknowledge myself every day now has made a world of difference for me. Same. Ryan, welcome. Love you too. Thank you, Tranquil Essence. You guys are so sweet. So, my favorite way to talk about it too, one last thing before I show you guys, share this cool tool with you guys, okay? Balance. Right? We ask ourselves, what does balance feel like? How do I know when I'm healed? How do I know if I'm in center, if I'm so used to tension all the time in my body? How do I know when I'm in a good spot if I've never really felt or experienced that good spot? How do I find something if I don't know what it looks like, feels like, tastes like, touches it, like, how do I find it? You already know. When you try to stand on one foot, right? And you try to find that balance, what happens to your body? What is happening in every part of your body? But tense and release, tense and release, tense and release. Your body is doing everything it possibly can to find center, yes? And then when you find center, what happens to that tension? Do you suddenly tense up everything in your body and there's center, there's balance? No. The opposite is true. When you're standing there in tree pose, or whatever other pose you're doing, you're standing there on one foot just trying to balance. When you find center, There's a calm. There's a peace. There's a release. There's a relaxing of all your muscles. But are you a puddle on the floor? No. So what is that? What is that place? That is the place where you are filled with intention, not tension. All tension has been released, remaining only intention. You need your intention to keep yourself active. Just like in meditation, you need that intention to keep yourself upright. But your attention or your tension, we can let it all relax. Ryan, we are the scale waiting to duality of yin and yang. I like to talk about it in the sense that we are the manifestation of the union of creation, right? When we talk about our energy body in here, this is the basis of everything I talk about. So we have that solar cosmic energy coming in through the top, and we have that lunar earth energy coming in through the bottom. Do you know where they meet in the center? Do you know where the center of your energy body is? In your heart, of course. Your heart is the center. And what happens in our physical body? What does the heart do? Those defibrillator cells, they create the toroidal field of energy. This is my finite field of energy. This energy field has a certain amount of frequency and energy that is generated from my heart itself. But where does my heart get the energy to generate it? From the union of those energies. They come from above and below, and then they manifest into creation. The creation that is you and the creation that you see all around you. We are the manifestation of the union of yin and yang, of solar and lunar energies, of above and below. And that spark, that energy, that source energy is our life force. Yeah, Ryan. Ryan, we are watching a really cool series in our Discord called Ancient Civilizations, and the first episode was it Searching for Eden? They talk about the story of Eden and the Gnostics and all kinds of cool stuff. So if you want to talk more about that kind of stuff, come into our Discord. This will bring you to the land of milk and honey. Okay. I promised you a tool, and I keep getting sidetracked because I love to talk about these things. So if anybody at some point is like, hey, you said give me a tool, so give me a tool, you can poke me a little bit. Let me see. That is Blind Woman. I love that visual there. I'm like a polar bear on one foot. One day I'll stand strong like a flamingo. Yes. All right. So if you have never experienced energy, or if you've only experienced a little bit of energy, the physical experience of energy, hey, Cappy, I invite you to do this practice with me. Claudia, I currently have the capacity. I just need to figure out a kiln, but I am going to be actually trying to make some of these. I keep saying that, but then I distract myself doing other things, and actually I have a couple cups that already need to be made and have already been ordered, so I need to get to that. Right, my friends? I know you're in here. Okay. Remember what we were just talking about? About the energy coming in through the top of the head and the energy coming in through your seat, through your root chakra and your crown chakra. And that energy comes in and gives your heart, the defibrillator cells, their boom, 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 boom. And then that energy creates this toroidal field around you. Yes? So, let's experience that energy in a focused way. I invite you to bring your hands together. Cup them together as if you're holding something in your hands, okay? Hold it right here in front of your heart, keeping space in between your palms. Go ahead and close your eyes. This helps to close your eyes because it helps to bring your senses in. Start first by just breathing, listening to the sound of your breath, There's no right way to breathe right now, so just breathe however feels appropriate. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, the very top of your head. If you were to put your hand up there, you'd put your hand on the very top of your head. If you want to try, go ahead and pat the very top of your head so you have a physical reminder of where you're looking for. Bring your attention up to the very top of your head. And imagine that that energy is flowing down through a hole in the top of your head. If you can't visualize, don't worry. It's not about seeing it. It's about the physical sensation. So tune all of your energy into the very top of your head and see if you can feel any kind of shift in that energy. It doesn't have to look or feel in any particular way. Just notice. And if you notice nothing, don't worry. Set the intention and keep your awareness on the top of your head. Once you feel that tingling sensation, any kind of movement, any kind of sensation up there at the top of your head, allow it to sink down as if it was going through a central channel, as if there was a center tube through your head, through your whole body. Bring it down through the head, through the neck, and right into the heart. If you can't visualize, again, you can, if you can visualize it, you can feel for the sensation, you can listen for a sound. Sometimes we notice smells or tastes when we're working with energy. Allow any of these things to arise within you without the need to attach to them. Just notice this funnel of solar cosmic energy flowing in through the top of the head right into our heart, filling up the heart, pooling in the heart. Let it fill up the heart with that golden energy. Allow it to manifest again. I'll say golden, but it can show up for you however you want it, however it does. With this flow open and filling your heart, bring your attention now down to your seat. If you're sitting on your butt, just notice the center of your seat, your root chakra. And imagine those roots going down into the earth. We're going to take our time with this practice because I really want you to focus on the connection. Send those roots down into the earth. Again, if you can't visualize, just notice for the sensation or the smells or the sounds or the tastes. And then allow that energy to come up through that same central channel, feeling into the root chakra, the very base of your seat. If you'd like to, you can even flex and release the muscles in your pelvic floor to bring your awareness there. Don't hold them flexed. Just relax and bring that energy up through the center of your belly, through the center of your chest into your heart. That energy filling in your heart space. We're just bringing our awareness to this flow, to these two energies combining here in our heart space. Now we're going to set the intention. Again, doesn't matter if you can't visualize or not. Set the intention and notice any sort of reception that you get from it, any sort of experience that you receive. Allow that swirled around mixed energy to flow from your heart into your shoulders, down the upper arm, past your elbow, into the lower arm, through the wrist, and into your hands. Here in your hands, they begin to flow into the center space. Just notice any experience you have of this energy flowing from your heart, through your arms, and into your hands. Keeping those hands clasped gently with some space in between the palms. Notice any sort of thing that you can notice about this experience inside of your hands. Allow the sensation to build, focusing all of your attention now inside of your hands. all of your attention, all of your awareness inside of your hands. Filling with this energy, moving around inside of your palms, however you experience it. Now imagine this energy forming a ball of light, gathering up into a ball of light. It's a small little ball of light inside of your hands as they are clasped. So I invite you to slowly open your palms, and as you slowly open them, keep them cupped around this ball of light. Notice any sensations. The important part here is your awareness. Keeping your awareness inside of your palms, noticing for anything. These sensations, these experiences can be very, 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 very subtle. Our perception of them is something that we can cultivate. So don't worry if you're not feeling anything crazy, wild, big right now. Notice for the tiniest little shifts of that energy in between your palms. Slowly start to open them and allow the ball of light to expand. Let's not go too far open. We're going to stop wherever you are right now. Notice the sensation of that ball of energy in your hands. What can you perceive about this ball of energy? Do you perceive a color? What color is it? Does it have a sound? Does it have a smell? Does it have a taste? Notice any sensations in your palms, in your hands, in your wrists. Maybe even the coolness of the energy as it's flowing through your arms, or the warmth of the energy in your palms. Let everything else fall away and let the experience of this ball of energy between your hands completely absorb your attention. There is nothing else but this energy ball. Go ahead and expand it just a little bit bigger, really keeping your focus inside the hands, in your energy field. If you notice at some point during your expansion you start to lose the sensation, close them back up a little bit more. Notice the tension. Notice the pressure that you can perceive when you push it back in, and then allow it to expand again, holding on to the sensation, whatever sensation you're experiencing in your palms. All of your attention, all of your focus on the energy ball inside of your hands. Go ahead and perceive it with whatever capacity you have to perceive it. Now we're going to go ahead and compress this ball of energy. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly begin pushing it together. Take your time and feel the pressure occurring in between your hands as you begin to push it together. You may notice warmth, you may notice shivering or shaking, you may notice all sorts of things, you may notice nothing at all. Let's try not to poo-poo ourselves. Just be open to the experience, be curious and willing, slowly pushing, compressing, feeling the pressure of the compression as we bring our hands all the way to touch. Back clasping as we had them in the beginning, keeping space in between the palms. Now we have this dense energy ball. Notice what color it is. Notice what sound it makes. Notice any smells, tastes. You can stay here with your practice as long as you'd like to. You can return to any other part of the practice. You can sit here and play with your energy ball as long as you'd like to. When you feel complete, I invite you to just open your hands towards your heart and plop that ball right back in your heart. It'll blend back in with the energy, dissipate into your system. Pause with your hands on your heart, offering a moment of gratitude for the prana, this life force, this energy that is always flowing through the path of least resistance to bring you to your highest good in every moment. Grateful for the opportunity to experience the energy body that I reside in, that we reside in. Grateful for the prana, the solar and lunar energy that brings life to creation, that brings us into creation. When you are ready to complete your practice, to close, to come out of your practice totally, go ahead and rub your palms together one more time. Cup your hands over your eyes, fluttering your eyes open behind them. It helps the transition. Hey, Mad Crest, how are you? So, when we first start working with energy, experiencing energy, it may not be something that we might not be very sensitive to it, right? But it's important, just like those 5 minutes every day, to give yourself the time to be open to experiencing it. When your conscious mind is busy and working and doing and talking and thinking and all this stuff, it creates a kind of surface tension. And that surface tension keeps all of these more subtle energies, messages, communications from our body, energy movements, it keeps them to the wayside. Because our minds don't want to be distracted by these little things. We've decided they're not important. And so we focus our mind on other things, and those get stored away, pushed back. When we want to increase our sensitivity to those things, we need to give it the time to really open to the experience. And if it's just a tiny little wiggle you feel, or it's just something interesting or weird, and you're like, was that it? There's no reason, there's no need for doubt in this space. Curiosity and willingness are fantastically powerful tools. Because when I show up with curiosity and willingness, I show up like this. I am open to receive. When I show up with judgment, or thinking I know everything, or waiting for a particular thing to happen, or asking for perfection, I limit myself like this. I can't receive. If I expect it to only be like this, then I won't receive it. The other things that aren't like this. Badass blind. Well, that was interesting. One of my favorite responses to this practice actually was a good friend of mine who was telling me energy wasn't real. The chakras are woo-woo nonsense, and I was full of baloney, right? So I did this practice with him. And I think his argument was that, he goes, you're just creating it in your mind, right? You're not actually experiencing it, you're just creating it. And I said, okay, well, let's do this. So we did this practice together. And then when I asked him, what color is that ball of light, right? He responded, it's blue or whatever. And I said, did you make it blue on purpose? Or did you just perceive it was blue? And my friend, who's a very animated person, threw himself back, like popped his eyes open and threw himself off the chair he was on. He was like, what? I go, we typically think we're in control of all of our thoughts and we're the one directing it all the time. But in reality, this is where our perception comes from. And we perceive so much more from that's not from our eyes and our ears out in the material world. There is a great deal in which we are perceiving that is occurring energetically in our inner landscape. Yeah. When we allow those things to arise naturally. We receive the messages, we receive the insights, we receive the guidance that we seek. So the next step in this practice, after you get used to playing with the energy in here and experiencing the movement of energy in between your palms, is to then take that energy and put it somewhere. So let's say you fall down and bump your knee, or your low back hurts, or your heart aches. Take that energy, experience that energy between your palms, and then place it in the space that needs that attention. This is the foundation for energy work. Thank you for the follow, Michael. This is the foundation for energy work. If you are someone who, let me think about how I want to say that. When we do energy work, we are not, remember we talked earlier about our finite toroidal field of energy? When we're doing energy work, we're not using our finite toroidal field of energy. This is my source of energy. This is my, I don't know what the word, this is my stuff. This is my bubble. When we're doing energy work, we're actually tapping into that solar and lunar energy that comes into our hearts. Just as we did where we sent it out through the hand, or through the arms and into the hands. We use the energy that comes into our Sushumna channel and manifests before it manifests, right? If you're doing energy work on yourself or on others, and it's causing you to feel very, very drained, you're most likely pulling from your finite toroidal field. You're most likely pulling from your limited source of energy. It's going to exhaust you. And it's also going to offer, no offense, muddy energy. We're all, I don't know, we're all working to be our lotus, right? And right now, a lot of us are just fucking mud puddles and mud skippers and what have you. We're still waiting for our lotus to blossom. So your energy is likely imbalanced, muddy, kind of iffy, wishy-washy, because we're healing. Because we can't heal unless we're out of alignment. Because we can't fall in love unless we're out of love, right? So, yes.
I need your help opening that oatmeal jar.
Just leave it. Just leave it for now.
That's the last thing I have left.
Okay, I will do that. I will help you after.
Okay.
Okay, you gonna make yourself some breakfast?
I already had breakfast.
Oh, fantastic.
I had it during the fish. And
Okay.
right when I finished, the fish finished.
You're funny. I love you.
Love you too. Can I just play?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But first I might make the bed. Okay, I'm probably
Okay.
actually gonna make the bed.
Not Amy, my energy. So, yeah, if you're doing energy work and you notice it's exhausting you, I invite you to tap into those tethers, right? There is a meditation that I created, whatever, for my stuff. It's called I call it the tethering meditation. It's actually on Spotify. I do have a little Spotify channel with some meditations. I was trying that avenue for a while, but it doesn't get much. It just says they're on Spotify, so I haven't been doing podcasts. I haven't been doing the meditations on there. But if you get over there and you love them and you're like, please give me more, I will probably do more. I do better when it's requested of me. If you are interested in doing energy work, if you are doing energy work, even if you're not doing energy work and you just want to strengthen your connection to that solar and lunar energy, the above and below, the yin and the yang, then that tethering meditation is a really important one. And in the meditation, we essentially dig those roots down into the earth and we send a tether or tendrils, right, roots up into the cosmos. Okay, pirates. My pirate's like, that's the tree of life, because we are the tree of life. No, yeah. We're not going down that whole rabbit hole. connecting to that energy and reminding your system that that is the source of energy that we want to be going from, moving from, and pulling that energy from your heart center, that transmutation station that transmutes that energy into your finite field, as well as directs that energy out into the world and toward others. I encourage any and all of you who are practicing or want to practice energy work to please start by practicing on yourself. Please start by perceiving your energy. Please start by strengthening your roots and your tendrils up into the cosmos and down into the earth. You don't want to be using your own finite toroidal field of energy. That said, if you are somebody who says, I'm not healed enough to do energy work, this is your reminder that you are exactly where you need to be, exactly as you need to be. And if you feel called to do energy work, don't worry that you are still healing, because, right? No mud, no lotus. And I know for me on my journey, it has been an essential part of my journey to learn to separate the energy between my stuff going on and what I can send and receive from others. Okay? Badass Blind Woman, do the colors we perceive relate to anything? For instance, white. So in terms of explanation for colors or sensations, I sit back a little bit, I do one of these, and say, your interpretation is what's most important. If you're sitting there perceiving your energy ball and it appears white, allow it to be white. If you're inquiring, you can ask the energy, what is white? And you may receive an answer. You may have to ask 15 bazillion times, what does white mean? Until you finally feel or hear or perceive what that answer is. It's about improving our sense of communication. The communication that happens within our system is a very, very subtle, right? We talk about the body whispers, right? These are very subtle energies. I like to think about it like a pirate ship. And all of my energies and all of my different emotions and all of these are different pirates on my ship. And it can get pretty fucking loud, right? Between my conscious mind, my ego, my emotions, all arguing for the wheel because they want to steer us in different directions and trying to figure out what's going on while being terrified and also these other things at the same time, right? There's a lot going on. Mindfulness is the practice of quieting that din so that we can hear our captain. Because if you are a pirate captain, or you have a captain in you, do you think that wiser, higher captain is going to chase down all of those pirates and make them stop? Do you think the captain is going to raise their voice and bother themselves, yelling over your disgruntled, mutinous crew? No. You are your first mate between your captain and your crew. It's your responsibility to learn to manage your crew enough to quiet the fuck down so that we can hear our captain. If you're like, I don't get guidance, I don't hear my captain, I don't hear the wiser, higher selves, well, what do you hear? Because most often you're hearing your ego, your energy, your emotions, because we're used to communicating with them. Arg, matey. We're used to communicating with them. Why? Because they are our allies. They're our eager team here to support us and to operate for us and do the things for us and manage our tasks. And thank you, brain, for compartmentalizing all that stuff. Thank you, energy, for creating these ego manifestations to protect me, to keep me safe, to help me navigate the waters. These ego manifestations, my emotional patterns, my energy patterns, all of these things were generated, created, seeded in my earliest years. And in those earliest years, I don't have the capacity to drive a ship. I'm a child. I'm a baby. I don't have the capacity to know right and wrong, good or bad, where I'm supposed to go and how the fuck I'm supposed to get there. So what happens? My energy stands up for me. My energy moves and decides where I need to most put it so that I can survive. So if my earliest years were a little bit tumultuous or dangerous or whatnot, then my energy probably redirected itself in a way that said, okay, I'll be your defender. Now, a healthy, balanced self doesn't need to have that kind of defensiveness, right? So if we have that knee-jerk reactivity, we know that our energy, our ego, our emotions have been working, toiling day and night to keep us safe. Thank you, anxiety. Thank you, depression. Thank you, rage. Thank you, fear. Thank you, shame. Thank you, guilt. Thank you, ego. Remember, this is my finite field of energy. This toroidal field, this is my finite energy, which means that that energy has to find a place to go and a place to be. And if that energy that's supposed to be, let's say, balanced in my root chakra, where I feel grounded and confident being in my body, and I feel like it's safe to be in the world, and it's good for me to be alive, that's going to manifest a certain way. But if my earliest experiences told me, it's not really safe to be in your body, and the world is pretty dangerous, and you should be fearful because there are scary fucking things out there, then my energy and my root chakra is going to respond to that to keep me safe. That doesn't mean that my root chakra is broken, and that doesn't mean that the ego part of me who is fearful is bad. This was a response to my experience. Thank you, fear, for telling me where I need alignment. Thank you, anger, for telling me where I can adjust my energy to bring it back to center. We worry about going back into our past, hypnosis and things and talk therapy, and I've got to find my trauma, I've got to figure out what happened back there. Guess what? The past is just a dream. And everything that you need is alive and well in your body through your emotional patterns, through your ego manifestations, through your fears, through your worries, through your beliefs and your perspective about yourself and about the world. It all lives right here, right now. Today is all you have, and everything you need is with you now. Dawn, yay, we'll see you in watch. We are, guys, remember, we are having a watch party at 4 p.m. Pacific time in our Discord. So if you aren't in the Discord, go to patreon.com. There's a free link to join us there, or you can send me a message after class, and or now or whenever, and I'll send you a link directly. Badass Blind Woman, what can we watch for as far as springing an energy leak, or if someone is trying to receive our energy? So it's about energy awareness, right? Do these practices where you're perceiving the movements of your energy. Here's my favorite part about mindfulness, right? Okay, we talked about the surface tension. When your mind is busy worrying, thinking, going in the past and the future and whatever, it creates a kind of surface tension that makes it hard for us to experience and to perceive the more subtle energies in our body. So I encourage you to use your attention and your intention to align yourself to the here and now. The only way you're in the here and now is if your intention, what I mean to do, what I'm focused on, and my attention are aligned with each other. So we talk about it in this space, right? My intention is my guiding light. It's my North Star. I hang it out in front of me like a carrot on a stick, and I say, this is where I'd like to go. And this can be as complicated as you'd like to, or as mundane as you'd like. So let's use doing the dishes as an example. Next time you do the dishes, set your intention to be fully present in this experience of doing the dishes. And anytime your attention wanders away to a thought, to a worry, to a sound, to a hope, to a dream, to a whatever, bring it back. How do you bring it back? Use your senses to anchor you into the present moment. Listen to the sounds of the dishes and the water. Smell the soap. Feel how slippery or rough different things are. Imagine as if you have, I like to say, as if you've just shifted dimensions, and all of a sudden, everything is just kind of surreal. They don't want your dog butt. Sit down. Everything is just kind of surreal. So use all of your perception. Whoa, where am I? What is this? What can I perceive beyond just the most obtuse pieces of my experience? What am I doing? I've got my attention, my intention right here, my North Star. And I'm aligning my attention right to that North Star. And I'm going to keep it here. As I do this, as you do this, the surface tension that we're used to experiencing starts to quiet down, starts to smooth out. And then the subtle little movement in your belly is very noticeable. The thought in your head is very loud. The sound of your breath is something that fills your awareness. The expansion and contraction of your heart, in fact, your heartbeat starts to echo through every bit of your whole body. This is being present. This is aligning your intention and your attention so you can perceive the things that come up inside. Do this as often as you can. Because when you cultivate this sense, that's what it is. It's your sixth sense, your ability to perceive your energy. And you have the capacity to do so. You already are perceiving it. Usually it has to, if we're not sensitive, it has to get really loud for us to perceive it, right? So listen. Perceive it at a quieter and quieter and more subtle level. Mindfulness, enlightenment, is just becoming more aware, bringing light of awareness to the more subtle layers of self. It's learning the difference between day and night, and then learning that there's a dusk and a dawn and hours in between where the daylight fades and the daylight comes back and all these other things. This is what enlightenment is. So enlighten yourself about the subtleties, about these little experiences, so that when you are out and about or in a situation and you feel that, or you feel that in your system, you're going to go, whoa. Suddenly I realize that every time I'm around this particular person, my right shoulder starts to creep up. Interesting. Start with interesting. Not, what does this mean? Oh my gosh, what is this? Should I explain it? Should I be here or not? Should I? Let your body tell you. Let your energy tell you.
Mom,
Yes.
just wanted to say I couldn't
Time out.
myself.
Time out. I am in class. It's the one class I do right now a week, correct? And our boundary is that unless there's an emergency, I need you to give me these couple of hours to work on this. You can do homework. If you come in here, you know I'm going to give you chores and homework and things like that to do, right?
Yeah, well, I already completed all those chores.
Well, then go find yourself some homework. If you're too bored.
No, I'm not too bored.
Okay, then please give me this space.
Okay.
Thank you, honey. I love you.
Love you too.
Badass blind woman, I challenge all of you to do your dishes with your eyes closed. I love that. I do yoga with my eyes closed, right? That's one of my favorite things to do with my eyes closed. Martha, I heard my own. So, how do we notice energy leaks or energy vampires or somebody trying to hook your energy? By increasing our sensitivity to our energy at all. Start when it's easy. Start when it's safe. Start when you have the capacity to be quiet with yourself for a little bit of time. Don't wait until you're in the middle of a situation. You're like, oh God, now I feel all the energy, and now I want to give all of my attention to the energy, because a lot of times we can't do that in the situation, or it just gets really big. So start small. Start 5 minutes a day. Start in a safe space. If you have someone close to you, in person or not, that you trust and that you want to experience these things and practice these things with, try sitting with them and experiencing different emotions. Try intentionally sending energy out through your heart and seeing if they can feel it, or vice versa. Hold your hands like this and send energy back and forth. Cultivate awareness is just about being willing to be present with it. Ever since I was a little kid, I always imagined energy as little sparks. It's always been sparks of light, bits and pieces and things and whatnot. But it's going to manifest for you however it manifests for you. And there's no need to change it. There's no need to do anything about it. There's no need to direct it. Bring your energy, bring your hands together. and set the intention to use your palms to experience the connection of that energy. You don't have to direct it. It's going to zing back and forth between your palms because your energy body is moving around you. It is active and energized. That is fun. I've heard of energy shields, but I don't know how to do them. Okay. The energy shield, again, my mama taught me, again, comes from the heart. And we use the breath to breathe the energy shield out around us. And this is something that helps in a bunch of different ways. If we're not used to paying any attention to our energy body may be kind of contracted or maybe kind of a little bit smaller than it can be. So the practices of expanding your energy body can help to fortify the edges of your energy body. The further out you push the energy body, the higher the vibration of the energy body, because it has to be vibrating at that higher expansive state to get up and out. And the higher the vibration, the higher you're going to be away from these other energies, right? One of my favorite ways to talk about this, you can create protections. You can use mudras and energy work. You can use intentional things to create a shield, to weaponize your energy, right? You can do all sorts of stuff with your energy. But my favorite way to protect my energy body, myself, is to resonate at those higher frequencies. Because when we're vibrating at these higher frequencies of unconditional love or authenticity and these other things, right, we are raising ourselves out of the muck and mire of these denser, lower energies, right? And I don't want to do this as like these are good and these are bad. We're not saying that. This is just a different frequency, like scales of music. Right? You have your lower tones and your higher tones. And we can't make music unless we have this full spectrum of experience, of sound, right? So it's okay to have this full experience of sound. If you're worried about these energies down here, worrying is pulling you down into those energies. This is why we focus on authenticity in this space. Authenticity is the fast track to get yourself up to those higher levels. Authenticity is the experience of unconditional love, is the experience of living unconditional love. Thank you, friend. Because authenticity is not arrogance. It's not, what is the word? Martyring yourself, right? Authenticity is the recognition that I am right and good and perfect and exactly as I need to be right here, right now. And if that's true, then so are you. I can't be perfect and right exactly as I am and then say that you are not. Authenticity recognizes the value of the divinity within me as well as the divinity within you. It recognizes the value of self and the value of other. Authenticity is our experience, our lived experience of unconditional love. Most of us are very used to conditional love, conditional experience of that. So, you want to protect your energy? Find those expansive states of vibration. Find those expansive states of experience. And yeah, something as simple as laughter can help raise your vibration. Right? Even shenanigans, this is why I shenanigan. Silliness can raise that vibration. Because it lets go of tension. And it allows us to be real and fluid and relaxed in ourselves. If you would like an actual practice of shielding your energy, well, so there's a mudra combination that you can use to clear your energy field. And I'll share that with you guys now. These are two different mudras, and you can use this. This has been said that it's similar to like a sage, right, or incense, where you're clearing energy out of a space with smoke, right? So we're going to use the mudras to do that. This is two mudras, the Karuna mudra and the Kashyapa mudra. With your left hand, bring your thumb between your middle and ring fingers. So you'll have two fingers on each side of your thumb with your left hand. Bring this fist to your low back. Hold it here. With your right hand, make the bullhorn symbol, but this is really important. Please, 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 please note, you want to touch the pads of your fingers together. The pads of the fingers or the tips of the fingers, not pressing your thumb on the nails of your fingers. This is a different mudra, okay? This is the Apana mudra and is going to empty your bowels for you. Okay, this is the release of your pelvic floor, release of your digestive system mudra. Don't do this one if you're trying to clear energy out. This is the one that pushes away negativity. So you've got your Kashyapa mudra here, thumb in between your first two fingers and your last two fingers on your low back. Bring the thumb to touch the tips of the middle and ring finger and extend your pointer and your pinky finger, your little bullhorns. Direct those bullhorns. You can shake it like this. You can move it through your energy field like this. Whatever feels appropriate to you. Again, the same way you would move a sage stick or incense or something of that, or Palo Santo, whatever it is. You can use this to clear an energy of a room, of your own energy field, out of a conversation. Somebody's energy is real fucking stinky. Then just go ahead and like place his hand back here and gesture towards them a little bit. I don't know. Do your subtle incognito mudras. So that is one way to use mudras to clear negativity out of a space. Oftentimes the worry, right, where we're worried about somebody attacking us or getting our energy all messy, it's not always as directed. Sometimes they're just farting, energy farts all over the place. They're just energy stinky. Sometimes we meet people whose energy is just really fucking stinky, and we can use this to clear that space and just be like, yeah, I don't need any of that. Okay, I'm going to clear the space around me. The other thing that we can do, and this is one that I check in with on a daily basis. So I encourage you, maybe when you spend those 5 minutes in the morning, to also check in with your energy shield on a regular basis. Hey, thank you, friend. So as we talked about earlier, that energy that comes in through the head, through the top of the head and into the heart, and then the energy that comes up through the pelvic floor and up into the heart, right? And then we used it by directing it out of our hands and out of our arms and into our hands. This time, we're going to use that energy and we're going to use the breath with it. Yes, Lisa, I have replays over on YouTube. I am at Move with Change on YouTube. I'm live, pretty much always live on both TikTok and YouTube. So replays are over there. Thank you for asking. Do follow me over there. Who knows where TikTok goes when things happen. But so now that we've got, again, the sensation of that energy coming in through the cosmos, that solar energy, the lunar energy coming in through the heart, and this time we just use the breath. We inhale, pulling the breath in through the lungs and allowing it to lift the heart as it fills the lungs. And then as you exhale, imagine that a little bubble starts to grow around your heart. Yes, Lisa, move with change. I am Move with Change on any of the platforms that I am on. I am the only Move with Change. Okay, so pause here if you just did that with me and notice how that bubble feels. Let's do that again. For those of you who didn't do it, or if you want to do a little bit more, bring that, remember, focus on that energy coming in through the top of our central energy channel and the bottom, the root of our central energy channel coming into the heart. We take a deep breath, fill the heart space, fill the lungs, open the capacity for breath. And then as you exhale, imagine you're blowing a bubble. It doesn't have to be very big. Notice the sensation of that. Notice not just the front of the body, but the back. The back of your heart chakra is directly behind the front of your heart chakra, and that's right in the center of your chest here. A lot of times we don't pay attention to our back chakras, and so they can be a little more sticky, a little more stuck. Just now, in opening that bubble, I feel pressure on my back, right in the center of my back. So we're going to do this again. Inhale, pull the breath into the heart, just like we're pulling the energy in through the root and the crown chakra into the heart. Exhale, expand that bubble a little bit bigger. Pause and notice the sensations now. The bubble's a little bit bigger. Again, inhale, pull the energy and the breath into the heart. Exhale, push it out even bigger. Perceiving this energy bubble around your whole body, right? It's not just coming out through the front. Remember, you have a front and a back. You are this big, beautiful bubble around you already of your energy body, so don't forget the back. Allow it to open and expand in all directions around you. Pause to feel the sensations. If you are a visual person, you may notice some sort of visual of the bubble. Again, try not to attach stories or worry too much about what it means. Just notice what you experience right now. Inhale again. Pull the breath into the heart. Pull the energy into the heart. Exhale and expand that bubble even bigger. I invite you to do this a couple more times, pausing to feel the energy as you expand it, until this bubble feels nice and big around you. If you want to, you can even stretch your arms out. I want this bubble, if you can perceive it as such, and it's okay if you can't, set the intention to make it as big as out to just past your fingertips. Nice big bubble around you. So take a couple more deep breaths if you need them. Note that your bubble may contract and expand. Note that it may appear and then disappear. Note that it may wiggle or may seem opaque or translucent, or allow it to be. No story, no explanation, no question even. Just allow it to be. Take those few more breaths. Hey, Madman Hat. Send that energy bubble out around you and just notice the sensation in your physical body, in your breath. Notice any colors you perceive, any sounds. Let everything else fall away but the sensations that are occurring in and around you. Any tension you notice, let it fall away with each exhale. Each exhale is permission to let go of tension, to expand, so that this bubble can keep expanding around you. And once it's nice and big surrounding you, thank you for the follow, friend. Once it's nice and big around you and feels relatively steady, go ahead and release the breath and allow the breath to just kind of disappear. Allow the breath to become so subtle that all you are perceiving is this ball of energy around you, this bubble of energy around you. Feel the sensations in your body and in your mind and in your breath, having this bubble around you. Just notice what it feels like, what it tastes like, what it smells like, what it looks like. Just bringing your awareness to this bubble can be really, really helpful in improving your perception, your sensitivity to your energy. This bubble can also work in several different ways. You can imagine it as a hardened shell to keep any energy out. You can imagine it as a translucent bubble that is unpoppable. So only energy that you allow in and out can pass through. You can darken the shell so that no one can see you inside of it. This will hide your energy. Not entirely, but it is a step in the direction of invisibility spells. I personally, when I'm feeling particularly sensitive, I like to mirror the outside of my bubble. so that when others perceive me, they perceive themselves more so. So that their energy can be reflected back to them rather than having to go through me to be reflected back. Notice the quality of your mind right now, your breath right now. If you've been doing these practices with us, moving your energy, notice your awareness right now. Does it still feel frenetic? Does it feel busy? Or is there an expansiveness? Enlightenment is the journey of bringing the light of awareness into the more subtle layers of self. There is only so much that I can perceive with my eyes and my ears and my hands. And in reality, my experience is only felt, seen, heard, tasted, touched, all of it only occurs inside of me. The illusion is that it all happens outside of me. When I touch my coffee mug, I think I'm feeling my coffee mug, right? I think my experience is of the mug. But my experience is actually of the sensations in my hand that the mug creates. As somebody who's dealing with neuropathy, this is a really interesting experience. When you start losing your ability to feel things because the nerves are dying and messing up, you realize where your perception occurs. My son and I were doing something last night or the night before that really struck me, and I wanted to do it here for you guys, but I don't think I can. So he had a little book light, and he was out at night with me, and he was waving the book light in the air, right? And you know how it makes those little trails? You can kind of see it with my hand. He was making little trails with the book light as he was like, and he goes, "Do you see the little blue, the little lines outside of the light?" I said, "Yeah." Those trails that we see from the light are not happening outside of us. That is the way the light is. That's the way we're seeing it in our eyes, the way it's being reflected back into our brains. The reason we see those trails is not the light outside of us. It is the way my mind and my eyes perceive the light. And it was such a good reminder, right? I talk about this all the time, but we rarely have experiences where I'm like, see? Exactly. Everything that we experience happens within us. So the source of your strength, your trust, your love, your power, your courage, your truth, your healing, all of it is in here. Oh, spooky divergent. I love that electron repulsions means we never really touch anything. If you haven't seen the movie What the Bleep do we know, please go start there. Please go watch that, because they talk a great deal about that. So when we talk about the smallest things that we can perceive, right? Or now we can perceive more, I guess, but molecules, atoms, right? They consist of matter, yes, but only a fraction of the atom is matter. The rest of it is space. The majority of the universe is made up of this space in between matter. But we live in a world where we're taught only matter matters. If I can touch it, see it, feel it, taste it, then it really does exist outside of me, and there's nothing I can do to change it. But now we understand, thanks quantum mechanics, quantum science, that bookshelf right there, it's not even solid. It appears solid because the unique vibration that those molecules are vibrating at. The reason I am manifested as I am is because the unique signature of my energy. My energy is my vibration. Everything in the universe is vibrating at its own little frequency to create its own little experience. I have come to understand that when we focus only on the material, only on the tangible, we are choosing ignorance. We're choosing to stay in a place of simplistic thinking and simplistic experience. When children are growing, we go through these stages of physical development from the gross motor to the fine motor. Gross motor skills are being able to walk, being able to swing my arm, being able to pick up my leg, being able to move my head. These are gross motor skills, big movements, right? And when we understand the world only through the physical realm, only through the material realm, it's there and then it's not. Here's the edge and here's the beginning and the end. It's very tangible, very physical, very touchable. But as we develop fine motor skills, we learn that there are subtle differences. We learn that there are finer details to everything. Again, it's like when we're children, you're either awake or asleep. It's either day or night. I'm either hungry or I'm not. This is a place of ignorance because we're only aware of either this or that. Enlightenment, to truly understand our experience, is about understanding all of the subtle things that bring us from this to this. The world we live in encourages us to stay in that material place. This is what we call the matrix. Thank you, Juliana. It says if you can't touch it, see it, feel it, taste it, it doesn't exist. And I think that's a grand misdirection, is it not? Because the truth exists in between all those spaces. Because the majority of our reality is not perceivable here and here and here and here and here. And to believe that the physical reality outside of me is the only thing that's true is to deny the depth that's available within me, which turns me away from my intrinsic source of courage, my intrinsic source of personal power, my ability to heal and align and balance myself. It turns all of my attention away from the source of everything I actually need. That's why I say it's radical to practice mindfulness, to cultivate your awareness. If we don't cultivate our awareness, if we don't start practicing being the first mate between our crew and our captain, then our crew will continue to drive the ship. And if you've ever had an emotion rise up and take the wheel, you know that our emotions are not always wise. They don't always know which way to go. They don't always know the wisest choice to make. They don't always know the best direction in every situation. And sometimes our emotions drive our ship directly into the frickin' rocks. Or they drive us back into the same storm. We just got out of the storm, and then your emotion comes up, and it's like, nope, we're going to go right back to that fucking tornado. Why does this keep happening? Because I'm not being my first mate. I'm allowing reactivity to take control of my mind, my body, my voice. And we say, I don't have a choice. You do. It's not always an easy one to make. I like to say that we all have a superpower. We all share a superpower. Every human has a superpower, and it's choice. We don't always like the choices. They might not be ideal. We may be very limited in our choices. Oftentimes, we are limiting ourselves in our choices. And sometimes all it takes is the willingness to just pause for a second and say, is there anything outside of this box? Because I've been running circles in this box of the same choice over and over and over again. Is there anything outside of it? Just to pause for a second and say, well, what if I just didn't flip off that person who just passed, just cut me off in traffic? What if I just didn't send the nasty text that my ego is telling me to send when I know somewhere inside of me that that's not in alignment with who I truly want to be? What if, instead of not doing the thing or committing to not doing the thing, what if I just fucking pause for a second before I act and meet whatever's coming up with curiosity and willingness? Whoa. Anger just filled my belly and it's very hot. Oh, interesting. I feel it creeping up through my chest and into my throat. Oh, I feel it lifting my shoulder too. Ooh, anxiety. It makes me feel like there's this cold thing around my throat. Meet it with curiosity. Who says when anger arises you have to let it drive? Who says you have to let it do anything? Why not just pause and be with it? In child development, in parenting education, right? We say a lot of times our kids just need you to be present with them as they process their emotions. The energy arises like a belch, like a fart. It shows up and it has to be released. What we get when we become reactive or overreactive or feel like we're out of control with our emotions is because we've been doing this. Every time that belch comes up, we're like, no, no, swallowing it back down again and again and again until it's so full of gas that the next person that comes along, we're like, ah! And they're like, where did this come from? What's the matter? I don't know. Because I've been swallowing my bullshit all day long. That ass blind woman, what if I didn't delete the TikTok app out of anger? What would have happened? Yeah. What if? What if? Lisa, golden nuggets galore here. When I was a little kid, I had some really early spiritual experiences. As I said, I was really big into church and religion and God and Christ. And when I was little, I started having but my mother taught me energy work. I had some direct experiences during traumatic events of angels, of Christ, of Source itself. And then when I was about 7, I started having a reoccurring dream of a past life. And of bigger things. Thank you, Mama. Of bigger things, bigger concepts. I started seeing like the fabric of the universe and the way that the universe is these little webs and whatnot. But what I was getting at, because you said golden nuggets, I saw very clearly that each of us has a kind of, this spark that we come into this life with. This unique piece of golden light. And you can call it the divine spark, you can call it Christ consciousness, you can call it life force, you can call it whatever it is you want to call it. I recognize that this is the source of the purpose we have in our lives. That when we learn to tap into this and open this up and offer it to the world is when we sing the song that we are intended to sing, is when we resonate at the vibration and align ourselves with our authentic self. I also saw that some of us are born into this life in a situation or in a environment where we can leave that pure, open, golden little spark and deliver it to the world and resonate at that truth and sing it out loud and proud. And some of us had early experiences that made us go, ooh, 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 nope, nope. And so if you feel like you don't know your purpose or you're disconnected from that spark, it's probably because your body and your energy and your emotions and your ego are protecting it for you. Now let me ask you a question. If they have spent all of these years protecting, guarding your most precious asset here in your heart, how do you think you're going to get in there? Do you think you're going to fight them off? You think you're going to go in with armor and weapons and swinging fists and be like, I demand you to let my spark out. I demand that you let it free. Not usually. At least I didn't find that demanding it was the way to get it out. Because when I go in swinging, my defenses know what to do, and they know how to defend me, even from me. Because I am often the one that pokes and prods myself, that hurts myself, that talks shit to myself, that puts myself down. And so my ego is doing me a favor by protecting the precious pieces of me that don't deserve to be treated like that. So how do we unravel this? How do we get our guards and our ego and our emotions and our defenses to put down their arms and to be willing to start to open up to us? Trust. And where do we build that trust? 5 minutes a day. Just start with 5 minutes a day. Create safe space inside of yourself. 5 minutes a day. And say, I'm willing to see and to hear whatever it is that comes up. Now, I'll warn you, when I first started doing this, there were some pretty nasty things that came up. It was a bit harrowing. We fear our anger. We fear our fear. We worry. That's why I say start with 5 minutes, because if for 5 minutes you can just be curious and willing for whatever it is that comes up, you're going to start sending the message to your defenses, to your ego, to your emotions that have been ignored and fought against for so many years that it's safe to come out now. I implore you to be gentle in this space. T, grateful and blessed. This is a CAYA space. CAYA stands for come as you are, because authenticity is the purest expression of source, of God, of Christ consciousness as it flows through you. And to truly be in that state of connected to source, of experiencing Christ consciousness, we must recognize the perfection and the value in each of us. So if we come into this space or towards each other with judgment, with condemnation, we are stepping ourselves away from the experience of God. We are walking ourselves out of Christ consciousness. We are closing our eyes and our ears to the beauty, to the miracle that is existing all around us. Judgment is a state of tension. When we're judging others, our energy is pulling in. We are contracting, and therefore pulling ourselves further away of our expansive experience of God, of Christ consciousness within us. Yoga, the Vedic sciences, the understanding of energy, this stuff has been around since, what was I saying earlier? The records of it way back to 1500 BC. Christ himself may very well have studied these things to expand his understanding of his own being, right? Our demons, you mentioned demons here. Let me read the quote out loud. T. Grateful says, yoga is biblically forbidden. It activates Kundalini spirit or serpent demon. You're inviting a demon. So first of all, our demons are most often our shadow self, are our misdirected energy that is out of balance and therefore becomes our aggravating, tense shadow self. We manifest the demons within ourselves by ignoring the light and balance that is available to us. Further, there is not a single, quote in the Bible that explicitly says, you shall not practice yoga. And if we really want to get down into it, the current manifestation of Christian religion with Yahweh and that God manifestation, if we read into it and understand it on a deeper level, we recognize that it is encouraging an infantile relationship with a narcissistic God. What's beautiful is we now have so much more information and so much more of the texts, the earlier information about these books, about these stories, and we can understand them from different perspectives now instead of the willful ignorance that is encouraged when you just follow the, what is the word, the direct language of that book. Remember, we can stop at gross motor skills and say there's right and wrong, good or bad. God is a sky daddy guy who lives up there and he's going to punish me if I'm bad. That sounds like a child-parent relationship where the child is never given the space to grow up and make their own choices. I'm a reverend, but I'm a non-denominational reverend. I was raised Catholic and I left the church because I knew that that relationship was not the one that I was being guided toward. And my earliest experiences of God and my lifetime experiences of Christ and Source have never encouraged me to condemn another human. They have never encouraged me to point fingers and to talk about how much better I am than anyone else. The message again and again and again and again is what? Love thy neighbor. Love thyself. What you do to the least of these, right? Who you are when no one's looking, and what you say to yourself and others is our truth, becomes our truth. And again, if you are judging, if you show up with conditional love to others, then you are absolutely loving yourself conditionally. And God never said love yourself conditionally. There are stories that said he'll punish you if you don't follow his rules. But my experience of Source never sought to punish me. It was always my human ignorance that sought to punish me. It was my ignorance of mine and your perfection that I sought to judge and punish. It was in my ignorance, only in my ignorance, that I could not perceive unconditional love, and I could not perceive the perfection in myself and in the other. And I am grateful for the journey of being ignorant and bringing the enlightening myself and my system to the truth of Christ consciousness, to the truth of God, Source, energy itself, to the truth of this entire universe. You guys know what's my favorite quote? What's one of my favorite quotes? If you don't see God in all, you won't see God at all. It's like looking at a rainbow and saying, yellow is fine. Purple is terrible. And red, that's demonic. Only orange is the righteous color. And only orange is the perfect make it to heaven energy. In our limited human perception, we make up limited human ideas for something that we cannot perceive as in its full expansiveness. So am I going to see the whole rainbow if I'm only focusing on orange? If I believe that the only orange is the best, is the only part of the rainbow that's important and valid? I guess the quote would be better. If we don't see God at all, in all, then we are only seeing God in a sliver, right? We're only seeing a portion of the whole. Happy Friday, Sarabella. How are you? The irony is that our condemnation of each other walks us away from God. And I find more and more that people use God or Christ as the excuse to condemn others and to push themselves away from their very direct connection of Source. And the arrogance it takes to think that God made mistakes is quite baffling to me. I am a limited human with limited perception, and I pretend to know what God wants and thinks and feels and what he meant when he said that thing. This is to choose my own ignorance. To believe that I know something that I can't even perceive in its entirety. Or I know better than something that I can't even perceive in its entirety. To say, I know, sometimes is to say that I am not willing to learn anymore. And one of my favorite ways to talk about it is by using the prism. Right? We are all facets on a prism. Hold on a second. I doubt grateful and blessed is still hanging out, because oftentimes folks come in, drop judgment, and then wander off if what we say does not sit with that judgment, is not encouraging that judgment. Sarabella feels like the person is closed off or minded. That's what I mean. We close ourselves off to perceiving anything else when we believe that only a sliver of reality is truth and good, and that is in our ignorance and is even to fight for our own ignorance. Badass blind woman. The fact that I don't look good in orange is a big factor on why I have never gone to prison. I love orange. I don't know what that says about me though. So, I want to say this about this perception, right? And use the prism as this thing, because I want to get back, Sarabella, you say, it feels like, it seems like they're closed-minded or closed off. And I want to get us out of the perception of judgment too, right? Because then it's a judgment to say, well, they're just ignorant, they're just closed off, they're just what have you. Let's not add judgment to judgment, right? Let's get ourselves out of that perspective. Reality is a prism. And we are each a facet on the prism. Now, this is really limited, but we are obviously a very, very multifaceted, beautiful little gem here of a prism. This is the whole of creation, of the material stuff that we can perceive. Source, God, light, consciousness, energy, right? We understand through quantum physics that everything in the universe is relative to light. And light is consciousness. So when that light of consciousness, of awareness, of God, shines through this prism, right? That light, sunlight, we might not even perceive it. If I put this up in the window on a sunny day, I don't see a beam of light coming into the prism, do I? No. It's coming, right? I have all of this light coming in through a source, yes, but I can't even see the beam of light. But when this light does hit the prism, what happens? Through the illusion of creation, through the illusion of this material matrix, what happens to the pure light when it filters through? It fractures into all of the colors so that we can perceive and experience all the parts that make up the whole. Just like we wouldn't look at a rainbow and say red is the only right color or yellow is the only right color. It'd be so silly for us to sit there and argue on the street when there's a rainbow in the sky about, no, red is the right color, purple's the right color, oh no, you're totally wrong, it's only yellow. Because we look at the whole and we perceive the beauty that is all of those pieces. The beauty that is the illusion. And we're stuck in our little subjective experience, right? Our little prism. I can only see my world, the world, my reality from my perspective, from my subjective little experience. I can only perceive it from here. And because I am stuck in this illusion of subjective experience, I am by nature and will remain by nature ignorant unless I can expand my perception. Now I'm still limited by my senses, right? And I can go beyond my senses too and start to develop that sixth sense, that awareness of energy and these in-between spaces between the material, yes. And how am I going to perceive what's on the other side of the prism? I'm stuck here. And my lovely little grateful and blessed individual, you may be over here. Does it mean that my perspective from this side of the prism is wrong? Does it mean that your perspective from this side of the prism is wrong? No. Two opposing things can be true. Just like the rainbow can have yellow and purple and orange and green. These are different, but ultimately part of the whole. When we judge others and we decide that our facet of the prism is the only truth, the only reality, we further condemn ourselves to remain in ignorance. Because the only way I can perceive outside of my perspective to a degree is to start asking for the reflections from the people around me. That's why we call this a CAYA space. That's why we say, show up as you are. And show up with curiosity and willingness, because they are your avenue to receive. To be able to momentarily, if even, suspend my own perception, to imagine the world from someone else's perception. But as soon as I condemn it and tell you, you can't have that perception, your perception is bad and wrong, then I won't be able to see it. We don't have to agree. But trusting that every part is necessary is important. Sarabella, I hope you have a wonderful day too. Badass blame them. You guys are cracking me up over there in the YouTube chat. They're popping it off over at YouTube, just so you guys know. So I find this interesting. I find it interesting, and I want to ask, when someone chooses to believe in the Sky Daddy God, and who feels safe and protected under a energy that says, here are the rules, follow the rules and don't question them. And if you do that, I'll reward you eventually. If you don't, I'll punish you. For some of us, that is familiar and safe, and it helps us decide who to be and how to be. We don't have to question too much about who we are and the choices we make. We don't have to ask, how do I be? What do I believe? We can just take from this book, from our teachings, from our priests and our family or whomever, and we can stay inside of this container of understanding of our experience. This is okay. This is a valid way to experience life, creation, reality. The choice is up to you. It's nobody's choice to make but yours. What concerns me is when we find ourselves in these boxes or in these spaces and we feel uncomfortable and we don't like where we are, and it encourages fear or hate in us. And we don't try to move away from it. We don't try to change it. We don't try to get out of it. We don't try to align ourselves to a higher place of being. When we get stuck in a place of feeling punished, feeling hurt, feeling scared, that if I step out of line, I'm going to get punished. Because in my perception, that's not our purpose for being here, is not to become smaller, not to remain in fear, and not to separate ourselves. But some of us, again, we need all styles of experience. So thank you, grateful and blessed, for being willing to take that journey in this lifetime. And I hope that your experience of separation, of right and wrong, of yoga being bad, and fear around Kundalini energy, I hope that it brings you the experiences you seek in this life. Thank you for being the one to walk that path so that I don't have to. I don't want to. I didn't like it. It didn't resonate with me. And I was guided directly out of it to this place. May we all have the courage to walk whatever path we feel called to walk, even if not everybody else agrees with it. Juliana, thank you. May we stay attuned to the distinction between critical judgment versus judgment as discernment. There's another word for that. There's got to be another word for that somewhere in there, right? Discernment. Judgment versus discernment. I can decide, and this is how I word it within myself. Not, is this good or bad? I ask, is this for me or not for me? That's all. I thought I wanted to become a nun. I walked down that path for a little while and then went, you know what? This is actually not for me. There's nothing wrong with being a nun. There's nothing wrong with Catholicism itself. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. There's nothing wrong with the teachers therein. There's nothing wrong with these things. Wrong is my judgment. And in that way, I actually separate myself further from my fellow human and from my God. But if I recognize it is its own color of the rainbow, black and white, and it's not my color of the rainbow, then it gives me permission to go find what I truly resonate with. As I talk about us all as instruments of source energy, that we are instruments that are in a symphony, a chorus, and there are places for the tubas and the singers and the flutes and the violins and the drums, and there's an arrangement, because otherwise it just sounds like a cacophony of chaos. So if you're a tuba player, you gotta find the tuba players so y'all can resonate together. This is why it's so important to discover our authentic self and to follow the authentic self. Juliana, judgment and pride can be sourced by love or not. I think that falls right in that space of the difference between authenticity and arrogance. If I am arrogant, I'm judgmental and prideful, in an arrogance, from a place of arrogance, it's going to push me out of balance. It's going to cause contraction. It's going to cause disconnection. But if it's from a place of authentically loving myself, experiencing the truth of myself, and loving who that is, without condemning the other, then I experience connection to my fellow humans, and I experience connection to Source. And I'm glad you mentioned it, right? Because even the word judgment, we go, oh, judgment is bad. Black or white thinking. Judgment is bad. So we have to make no judgment. Well, but we're also humans. And judgment is required for us to stay safe and to make decisions for ourselves. Judgment is a skill that we cultivate so that we can make wise decisions for ourselves. Just like the idea of manipulation, right? Ooh, are you manipulating the situation? Is somebody trying to manipulate me? Well, actually, we're humans, and we are constantly manipulating our surroundings, our environment, our energy, and others, and whatnot. The question is, how aware of it are you, and what is your intention behind it? Is the judgment the intention to condemn someone so that you can feel better about yourself or higher about yourself? Or is the judgment one to make sure that you are in alignment with your truth and to give the other space to be in alignment with their truth? And if my judgment says your truth is one that does not resonate, it's like two totally off balance notes, and when we come together, it's like, don't hang out with those people. It's not personal, it's just energetic. Are you enjoying the manipulation? It's about our intention. It's about our intention, right? And when we become perceptive, when we become sensitive to what's going on in ourselves and in our environment, we develop the skill of manipulation. When we are perceptive of all of these goings on in our situation, we can be more aware of how they affect the situation, and therefore it becomes manipulation. The question is, what is your intention? Are you manipulating the situation so you can take from others, so you can feel better about yourself? Fuck them, who cares? Or are you showing up to manipulate the situation in a way that hopefully creates equality so that both people are seen and heard and felt? And, are you offering value to the situation, or are you trying to receive or trying to take something from the other person? Your attention and your intention are powerful tools, and they're ones we must cultivate. So, to get back to the energy body, the energy self. I've got two cats being super cute over there that are very distracting. We talked about the energy field, the energy shield. We talked about the experience of expanding our energy and contracting our energy. We used the mudras to clear our energy field. During class, we even moved our awareness outside of our bodies. What's another way to balance and align and clear our energy field? I'm looking at my list of tools over there. Sound. Sound is one of the things that can clear and align our energy field. Taking a shower, being in water can help clear and balance your energy. Water is a really good conduit for energy, and so can carry away and clear away things that are not in alignment with ourselves. The simple practice of oming or even humming can be extremely powerful for aligning your vibration, especially when we focus on the hum, we focus on it being a clear and open hum. I'm sure I'm going to offer this another time, but one of my favorite practices, especially if you're not used to humming or not used to oming yet, When you the intention is to really open up the chest, the throat, the nostrils, and to let it really resonate and vibrate through your whole being. So if you are new to oming, I encourage you to find a space where you feel safe to do so and really express your om from a big open space. If you're not quite ready to do that, you can hum first instead. When you do, I invite you to, again, focus on the expansion of the energies. Focus on, you know how when you're tuning a guitar and it's out, the sound is off, the string is not tuned, right? It's kind of flat, it's kind of flat, it's kind of flat, kind of flat. Then when you find the note, it expands and resonates, right? So we focus on the same thing with your hum. Michael, tune your guitar to a 432 hertz and a 417. You get Semitic images when tuned to those frequencies. Nice. Nice. I also love listening to Simatones. We have a couple of Simatones creators on here. I like to use my voice, right? I like to use the voice to do that so that I don't have to have anything outside of myself. No machines, no tools, no instruments. I am the instrument, right? Red Mommy Eddie, have a great, great day. Beta Spline Woman, when you're astral projecting, is that the same as having your awareness outside of your body? It depends on your perspective. I think there are people who say that your spirit itself, your energy body leaves. Some you can do so by moving your awareness to another space, as in like remote viewing and things. There's a difference between remote viewing and actually moving your energy body into someone else's space. I think a lot of us, when we first begin with the astral stuff, a lot of what we're doing is our awareness moving. Actually shifting your energy body is a much bigger task. So if you're experiencing that kind of astral travel or outside of body experiences, sometimes it is often, again, this is just my perception with my experience with astral projection and other people, is that oftentimes we are just moving our awareness in the beginning, because it takes more focus to actually move your energy in that way. So the practice I was going to offer is called Brahmari breath. This is my favorite way to give myself a humming alignment. That sounds funny, almost inappropriate. So Brahmari breath is just a humming pranayama. And you can do this. You can do this with a mudra or not. I find it much more expansive and absorbing. What's the word I'm looking for? It's when you use the mudra, it helps. Helps. I don't have the word for it. It helps you sink into the experience. It helps expand the experience of it. Okay, so the mudra we do with this practice is to place your pinkies on the corners of your mouth. Remember, when we're doing this, we're not squishing, okay? We're not trying to create pressure. These are just intentional connections. So bring the tips of your pinkies to the corners of your mouth. The tips of your ring fingers to the edges of your nose. You don't have to close your eyes just yet, but you will in a second, so just watch. Close your eyes and lay your middle fingers over your eyelashes, just below the eye, right over the eyelashes. And then the pointer fingers will go at the top of your eye socket, just below the brow bone. This is the mudra that we use, the Shanmukhi mudra, that we use for Brahmari breath. From here, you will take a deep breath in, and then you close your ears with your thumbs and hum the duration of your exhale. The entire exhale is a nice, steady hum. And I encourage you to lean into this hum. Feel it in your chest, feel it in your head, feel it in your nostrils. See if you can feel it in your shoulders and in your back. See if you can expand it to your belly. All the way exhale. When you inhale, open your ears. Keep the mudra on your face, but open your ears on each inhale. Exhale, close your ears. I encourage you to follow your exhale all the way to the end. When your voice starts to feel shaky, or when you feel like you're about to run out of breath, take the inhale. Open your ears and take the inhale. Don't try to push yourself too far, because the point is to maintain that nice, strong hum all the way through. The more you practice it, the longer your exhale is going to be. I like to call it a hard reset, or a gentle reset, because it's not very hard, but it's a boom. Reset the system, align the system, do that a couple of times over, and you will feel the shifts already happening in your system. It's one of my favorite, holy shit, I'm having anxiety, I'm feeling depressed, I'm upset, rage or whatever, like big emotional reactions. This is my bring me back to center. Let's do it one more time. Pinkies at the corner of the mouth, ring fingers at the sides of the nose. Close the eyes and place the middle fingers over the eyelashes. Pointer fingers go at the top of the eye socket just below the brow bone. Inhale, take a deep breath in. As you close the ears, and exhale with your hum. Open the ears to inhale again. Close them to exhale. Do that as many times as you would like to, especially especially until you can feel it vibrating through your entire body. That's a really powerful, good reset, and it's going to clear. What you're feeling is your energy aligning. Right? And that's going to affect the inside of your body as well as outside of your body. This can help improve your vision. It can help improve your sinuses. It can help open your throat, improve your voice. It can help relieve headaches and tension in the head, in the ears. It can help relieve tendinitis. It can help relax the muscles of the shoulders and the shoulder blades. It can help low back pain. This is something that can help with every area of your entire body, because that hum resonates through your whole being. Michael, I'm humming a G note. Thank you for letting me know. Speaking of, another way to... Whoa, Badass Wine Woman, you loving that one? It's my favorite. Another way to align your chakras or your energy body is to go through the scales. So the chakras actually are associated with the scales, and when you go do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti. Listening to music or hitting the notes yourself can help align your chakras, help align your energy body. Everything in the universe is vibrating, right? Colors have a wavelength, just like sound has a wavelength. So these things have associations with them where the note and the color and the chakra are all the same energy, the same vibration. Your energy body is the easiest way for you to bring balance to your system. Keep doing your Brahmari breath. And tell me if you find alignment. Tell me if you relieve tension. I use Brahmari breath as a painkiller. I can't take NSAIDs. I have allergic reactions to them. So mine is Brahmari breath, or Om, and or the Shukri Mudra. Depending on how much pain I am in, sometimes it's also heat and cold and things like that. But your body, your physical body, is the top rock on a stack of stones. You know the Cairn, C-A-R-Y-N, I think is how you spell it, C-A-R-I-N. Each stone balanced perfectly on the one below it. Your body is the top stone. If anything else is out of alignment underneath, it can manifest in your body. We live in this illusion of material world. We start with gross motor skills and gross motor thinking and black and white thinking. So what's the easiest way for our systems, for our energy systems, for these other layers of self to communicate with us? Through the physical body. And if you know, I know you know, the more you ignore something, the louder it gets in your body. Right? That's why we say this is my check engine light. It's because everything within me can manifest through my physical self. Always awesomeness. See you later, Madman Hat. This is the reason everything I do is from the focus of the energy body. Because it permeates all layers of self. And you can align it with song, by humming, by jumping around, by moving your system. Alley Cat, it just helped me release my tension in my neck and my head, which really, yay, release your migraine, yay! I'm so grateful, my friend. Let me see. I also have a mudra for head tension. You can keep using that. You can keep using Brahmari. I love Brahmari, but we do have a mudra also specific for migraines. We are not always in a situation where we can loudly hum our migraines away. So if you'd like the mudra, hold on, let me find it. I gotta remember which way. Hold on. Ah, got it. Okay. This is the mudra, the Mahasir's mudra. This mudra relieves tension in the head, in the neck, in the ears, in the eyes, in the sinuses, in the jaw. All of this stuff up here can be released through the use of this mudra. Drop your index finger down toward the base of your thumb, and then cross your thumb over to touch the tip of your middle finger and your ring finger. So now just your pinky's extended and you got your pointer finger in there inside of your thumb. This is the Mahasir's mudra. It's suggested that you lay down with it, but you can use it anytime, anywhere. I love mudras because of that. You can sit there at work when you've got a headache or in a conversation and drop this underneath the table or in your lap or somewhere, and you can help relieve that tension. One or both. There's several very similar mudras. Yeah. I'm grateful that Brahmari brought you relief, my friend. So again, for those of you who are new here, we do have replays of this entire, what are we at now? 3.5 hour live over on YouTube. I am Move a Change on YouTube. I'm also Move a Change on Patreon. I do have membership options for those of you who are able and desire to support the work that I do. I offer these classes for free. Right now, it's just once a week at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We do tiny yoga. Hence the chair. It's a 30-minute chair yoga flow for everybody and every space. And then I keep saying I'm going to bring the lives back. And I keep saying I want to make content. And the reality is, is I'm struggling to make content this month, and I'm struggling to do the lives because of my own health. I am learning to give myself grace and to show up when I can show up, and trying to decide where and how to show up in those moments when I'm extra struggling. Because as I said when I started class, I've gotten the reflection recently that I still kind of come across as I don't know, not perfect, but quite balanced and quite well and quite things, and I'm still on my healing journey. Please, if you have a voice in your head that say, gosh, she looks like she's in such a good spot. I am perfectly where I need to be right now. Does it mean that I don't have bad days? Does it mean that I'm not in pain? Does it mean that I am meditating every day for several hours and I have this extensive daily yoga practice? No. It means I am willing to be present with whatever comes up for me each day. I am learning to meet myself with curiosity and willingness as often as I can muster. Because I can't always be patient. I can't always be loving and compassionate to myself or to others. I'm exactly where I need to be on my journey so I can learn to love myself and others. So I can learn to give myself grace and others. Awesome, Lisa. That's what I'm working on right now. I just recently got the diagnoses that tell me why I've been in pain for so long. Thanks. Apparently, when you turn 40, the doctors actually listen to you. Before 40, they don't. But now they do. And I have been on a journey of radical self-inclusion, radical self-care, radical revolutionary self-love for the last 3 or 4 years. It sounds so silly and even maybe a little embarrassing to say that I spent that long denying myself my own love and care. And when I first realized a couple years ago how much I'd been ignoring those things, the first thing that came up was shame. The first thing that came up was guilt. How could I have treated myself so poorly? Have forgotten about myself? But even that guilt and shame is important, is a valid part of me. And so instead of pushing it away and saying, no, 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 don't feel guilty, don't feel shame, or instead of breathing it in and consuming it again, I just hold space as best I can. Right? The best you can do is show up each day. Use the spoons you have or save a couple for yourself later. The best we can do in each moment is simply ask ourselves, is this for me or is this not for me? And I'm the only one who can decide that. So learning to hear my system, yes and no, is part of building trust with myself. Because if I don't listen to my system, I don't have any way to listen to my system, and I keep ignoring my system over and over, I'm not building trust. I'm going to keep breaking trust. And those defenses and those ego characters who are here to keep me safe and to keep me out of trouble are going to probably keep doing what they do. If you feel reactive, if you feel pushed around and pulled by your emotions, by your energy, it's not your body attacking you. It's not your mind trying to get one over on you or harass you. It's not your ego being out to get you. It is your system asking for your attention. These energies arise within us so that we can give them permission to go. Just like a belch, just like a fart. The best way I have found to do that is to just meet them with curiosity and willingness each time. Huh, interesting. That person cut me off in traffic and all of a sudden my belly is really hot. Change the narrative. Short circuit it. Instead of it going from here to here to here, let it go here. And pause here. Interesting. Ooh, now it's here. Ooh, interesting. Now I hear it echoing through here. Interesting. But I don't have to let it take the wheel and drive my ship and flip off the other person driving or scream obscenities at somebody or create negative self-talk. We can bear witness and hold space for our experience. Again, I say these things and in my own head I'm like, these things sound so fucking trite. So fucking old and tired, like so simplified. Alley Cat. And then Alley Cat responds with beautiful explanation. Thank you. You're very welcome. See my self-talk. But it is in the tiniest moments. To quote Brene Brown, who did a study on how we build trust. She said about this study, she was like, I thought for sure that trust would be built. When I endeavored to do this study, I thought for sure trust was built in these big moments, in these big things that we did. She said it's totally the opposite. Trust is built in the tiniest little ways that we show up for ourselves. Imagine if you were in a situation with somebody else and every time you asked them for help, they ignored you. If every time you asked them to hold you when you were sad, they pushed you away and told you to cut it out, stop crying, would you feel safe around that person to express that emotion or to be vulnerable in that way? No. We know this. And yet we don't mirror it back within ourselves and go, oops. When I'm sad, I meet myself with judgment and shame and guilt and condemnation. I push myself away. When faced with shame and guilt, I find it helpful to remind myself that it is true, that we are all doing the best we can with what we have in the moment. I can't fault myself for acting ignorant in my ignorance. That's part of the growth. That's part of the journey. What a gift to be able to learn and discover things about myself because I forgot me. What a beautiful journey coming home to myself because I left myself behind. What a beautiful journey to fall in love with myself because I stopped loving me. Thank you for this opportunity. I get to heal because I've been broken. What a gift. Thanks, Ashley. I love you too. Hey, dog. Michael, my YouTube is Move With Change. MWC. Move With Change. I move move with change on YouTube, on TikTok, on Patreon, and I think those are the most important places to be. There is a free link to join the Discord. We have a free Discord space, and tonight we're going to have a watch party at 4 o'clock Pacific time. The link for that is over on Patreon. If you can't find Patreon or you're struggling to find the link or something, you can also just send me a message. Please don't put it in the chat because I won't remember. As soon as we get off, it's like walking through a door. I forget everything. But if you send me a message, I do try to check my messages in the next couple of hours before we do the watch party. If you're already in Discord and need some help finding the space, comment anywhere you are and be like, where am I? How do I find it? And I can help you. And we also have a couple of moderators in there. I am going to go ahead and wrap up here so I can go have lunch and do some things before we do our watch party. Remember that if you want private coaching of any capacity, if you want access to this big bad toolbox that I have collected over the years here, feel free to reach out, ask me questions about it, or just go to patreon.com/movewithchange. I have a group coaching level of membership, a once a month coaching level of membership, a weekly coaching level of membership, and then I also have something called a coaching intensive, and that is a 40-day daily check-in of coaching coaching. If you're interested in that, it's for acute situations, for major changes, or just a big overhaul. If you're interested in that, please reach out to me first, because we have to schedule that and make sure that you're actually available to show up every single day for 40 days and all of that, what that entails. I do have memberships that allow you to just offer a donation level membership, or if you want access to all the replays for the last year plus, yeah, over on YouTube, more than a year now. There's a level of membership for that too. Remember that you guys, your memberships help me keep the lights on, help me keep the internet going, help me feed the dog and the cat and the kid and myself and all the whatnot. So thank you all for all that you do. Remember that also the dollar is not a lock on the gate. So if you need services, if you want to be in this community, want to be part of this community, come on in. If you want coaching, I am open to trade, and I'm open to negotiation on these things. The important part as far as coaching is about making a commitment. So there has to be a kind of exchange. It doesn't have to be the price on the gate, right? It's more about the commitment and about the intention. So come join us in the Discord. At the very least, come join us in the Discord and hang out and be able to have conversations about these topics and be able to ask questions about these topics in real time. Note too that on any of the platforms, if you ask me a question in the comments of my content, it makes it very easy for me to turn around and make you a video answering the questions. And there's no question that's silly, right? Or that shouldn't be asked. Don't feel embarrassed about asking any of the questions, because this is stuff that we've often been taught is silly or wrong or bullshit or what have you. And so we have this ingrained sort of sense of like, I feel like I'm going to look stupid if I ask about this color or this chakra or this energy thing or this weird sensation I have. We might not have the language for it yet, but we won't develop the language unless we start talking about it, unless we start interacting with it. Okay. Energy is the foundation from which I do all of my work, because I received my family lineage of energy work when I was really young, and it translates across everything. Everything I do, everything I've experienced is energy. So, there's the Lion King again. Stick with me and you'll never go hungry again! For healing and energy and alignment and tools and balance. Bye, Brian. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay with me this year in 2025. Like I said, we're going to be going through each and every layer of the energy system. So if you want tools specific to the energy, to your aura, to your chakras, to a certain chakra, or for a specific purpose or whatnot, you're going to find all of those in my lives and in my content this year. And if you haven't seen it, ask me for it, and I will absolutely deliver. All right, dog. I hear you. Oh, I like that, babe. You're the best. All right, my friends. I love you. We're going to have a watch party. Remember, the watch party starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, Gigi, I was just heading out. How are you? Getting dog hugs. Remember, we are having a watch party at 4 p.m. Pacific time in the Discord. So if you need to get in there, send me a message. If you're already in there and don't know where to go, tag me or say, hey, help me get there. If you have any other questions, either send me messages or comment on my content. I know I've got some people waiting for some content. And like I said, I apologize for the delay in the bulk of the content that I wanted to share this month. I am managing my own balance. Are you okay? It's okay. It's okay. All right, my loves. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. Yes, Pacific time, Gigi. 4 p.m. Pacific time, only in the Discord. You are very welcome. Thank you, Alley Cat, and everyone else for joining me today. Remember that replays are on YouTube at Move the Change. So go get yourself a replay. Go to Patreon if you want a membership or you just want to support the work that I do. I do appreciate all of you. And if you have skills to offer in terms of social media management, editing, tech support on the back end, even moderating in the Discord and things like that, or here on the lives, I could definitely use some support in that way. I am currently doing most of it on my own, but I do need some helpers this year, especially if I'm going to actually put out the content that I really want to put out. So if you have the skills or the capacity or the time to commit to doing that and want to do an exchange, please reach out to me. I'd like to build a team this year. So I love you. Mwah! Dog's ready to play. Okay, let me say goodbye. All right. Goodbye, YouTube. I love you. Mwah.